Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of Major League Baseball.
Our July 4th holiday weekend continues with a star-spangled Sunday here in the Bronx. The third and final game coming up, and the rubber game from Yankee Stadium as the New York Yankees take on the Minnesota Twins here today on Peacock. Everybody, welcome back to the ballpark. Alongside Adam Ottavino, I'm Corey Probus, Anthony Recker from the field. In just a bit, first and foremost, nice to be with you. Looking forward to some baseball today.
Yeah, this should be awesome. Looking forward to seeing who gets this rubber match. Should be an exciting one.
A rubber game coming up here today, Twins and the Yankees. And for the Yankees, they're still 10 games over 500, but have dropped 8 of their last 9, and the look of this team, and certainly the offense of this team, has a different look since losing Aaron Judge in late May.
Yeah, you know, they've needed some guys to step up. Paul Goldschmidt was that guy for a little while, but they've struggled to find any sort of consistency, especially from the bottom half of the order right now. They're just not creating enough traffic, enough opportunities, and even when they are getting the opportunities, they're certainly not cashing in at the clip that they're accustomed to right now.
Meanwhile, the Minnesota Twins have not won a series here at Yankee Stadium since 2014. They have a chance to do that today and have the right guy on the mound in their ace and now two-time All-Star Joe Ryan.
Yeah, congrats to Joe Ryan, two-time All-Star. That's a big feather in your cap. He's pitched tremendous this year. He does a little bit of everything. It all starts with the low release and that fastball up in the zone, but he's got 6 pitches. He goes to them all. He's gotten value out of every single one of them. And what I really like about him is he works deep into the game the majority of the time.
So Joe Ryan today for the Twins, and the Yankees have lefty Ryan Weathers on the mound in the third and final game of this series coming up. It is our star-spangled Sunday. Twins and the Yankees one more time for the Bronx. It's all coming up next right here on Peacock. Welcome back to the Bronx. Getting ready for baseball today, and we are starting right on time. Cloudy skies, it is warm and humid, and hopefully the rain does hold off until later on today and tonight, and we can play uninterrupted today as it is getaway day for both teams. Byron Buxton, a 3-time All-Star, will bat second for the Twins here today. And for more on the Twins center fielder, let's head down to the field and bring in Anthony Recker.
Yeah, Byron Buxton, obviously this year, the power numbers, that's what stands out. He has done a great job this year of making sure he elevates the ball, getting to the ball, elevating his swing, getting in and getting out. I talked to Derek Shelton a little bit about before the game, and he was adamant that it is not something everyone should do. He is a freak, and he is a freak athlete, and only guys like him can do that. And because of that, because of the adjustments he's made, that has allowed him to get to a point now where he is considered an all-star game starter for the first time in his career, which should come as a surprise to absolutely nobody if you know how he works and you know the type of guy that he is. Corey, you've seen it over years. Obviously, back up to you, but talk a little bit about who Byron Buxton is and what he's been able to do in such a short time becoming this power hitter.
Yeah, he's just the leader of this team, and for a team that has undergone so much change, even go back to the trade deadline, you know, he has been the constant. He's been adamant. He does not want to go anywhere, has a no-trade clause, plus 10 and 5 rights as well. And he got to see Joe Mauer firsthand begin his career, end his career as a Twin, and I think Byron looked back on that and say, you know what, if given the chance, I'd be fine with that too.
Well, it's extremely rare. It's you'd never see it. So for the opportunity to be there for him potentially to finish the same place that he started, and he's really only getting into the prime of his career right now after he got through a lot of the injury stuff early on. You know, he really is only now really clicking on all cylinders. So it's awesome for the young guys on the Twins to know that they have a veteran and a leader that wants to be there, and they're going to try to follow his lead on into the playoffs.
Minnesota 43 and 47 on the season. They are 4 back of the White Sox and Guardians in the AL Central, but just 2.5 back of the Astros for the final wild card spot. And Derek Shelton and the Twins have the highest scoring offense in the American League. Austin Martin will bat leadoff today with a lefty, and Ryan Weathers on the mound. Buxton, Clemens, Josh Bell, a 2-homer game yesterday. Royce Lewis, Victor Caratini had a great month of June. Brooks Lee, Ryan Kreidler, Luke Keeschall now playing right field. That's the 9 today for Minnesota. And on the mound for the Yankees, looking for a bounce-back start, is lefty Ryan Weathers.
Indeed, Ryan Weathers on the mound today for the Pinstripes, coming off his worst start of the year last outing. You know, it's been a little bit of an up and down season overall. I would say he has thrown the ball quite well, but really it's about establishing the strike zone early and getting into that rhythm. Here's the arsenal you see right here: 28% four-seamer, 23% changeup. Those are the primary two pitches. He's got a ton of velocity. Despite the, one thing that works against him a little bit is his lack of extension, but I think that works in his favor when it comes to that changeup. It just simply stops on the way to the plate. And here's the defense that's going to be fielding behind Mr. Weathers. Austin Wells is the battery mate at catcher. Jose Caballero, Anthony Volpe, Jazz Chisholm, and Ben Rice around the infield. And Cody Bellinger, Trent Grisham, and Max Schumann in the outfield.
And there's a look at Ben Rice, named to his first All-Star roster last night. Cody Bellinger, his third All-Star appearance coming up, first as a Yankee, and in the All-Star game for the first time since 2019. Weathers faced the Twins a couple of years ago with the Marlins, and the first pitch to Martin is sent to right field, slicing, and that will land. And picked up on the warning track by Max Schumann, and Martin dives in safely, and a leadoff double begins the day for Minnesota. As Martin a little slow to his feet.
Well, Austin Martin wasting no time here. The Twins are one of the more aggressive teams on first pitches throughout the American League. And he gets a fastball right off the rip. Stays inside it, little line drive to right. Man on second, nobody out here.
The Twins have been a very good first inning offense, scoring 58 first inning runs, tied for the third most in baseball. And now Byron Buxton bats as Weathers misses inside for ball one. Buxton did not play earlier on this road trip, a trip that began in Houston. He missed all three games, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Did not play Friday, then returned yesterday. Was dealing with an injured right hip. In the history of Minnesota Twins baseball, only 3 outfielders have been named to an All-Star team 3 times. Tony Oliva, Kirby Puckett, and the guy at the plate. Ball 2. Want to welcome all of you that are waiting for the Mets and the Braves. Rain right now holding up the start of that one. Corey Provis, Adam Ottavino, Anthony Recker here on Peacock. Twins and the Yankees rubber game of this series. Now the 2-1 from Weathers. I wonder, Adam, if the changeup will be a weapon for Weathers today. I say that because Minnesota has struggled all year. 29th in baseball hitting any semblance of a changeup or a splitter.
I mean, he's got a great one. He comes with plenty of velocity from the left side, and then that changeup seems to disappear.
Off the glove of Weathers. He'll pick it up, try to make the play at third, and not in time there.
Man, we'll have to look at the replay on this one. I feel like that might have been a little ill-advised right there. Ball off the foot. Weathers making a scramble for it. Obviously, Buxton has a lot of speed as well, so you got to factor that into the equation. But the shovel to third felt like a little bit of a low percentage chance there. Let's see right here. Oh, off the glove, not the foot. I like the presence of mind to realize you have a guy going to third, but yeah, very low percentage he was going to get an out there.
How much because that was the play directly in front of Weathers. Without even spinning around to see where Buxton was at, he could see Martin trying for third base.
Yeah, I think he went with more of the known quantity there. He knew where the runner was at least. Buxton would have been a full turnaround. Plus, he's got, top of the scale speed.
Challenge here upcoming from Austin Wells. And it is a ball, and the Yankees are down to 1 challenge. And by less than 1/10 of an inch.
Man, when you're going to pull the trigger early in a game, you got to be right. We've seen it a lot recently, all around baseball. A lot of lost challenges early on in ball games.
Cody Clemens in there today, lefty on left. He's homered in 3 straight games. A guy that was born in Houston, but raised in many ways around the game by being around his dad and the Yankees. Growing up in the clubhouses with Derek Jeter and Mariano Rivera. Fond memories as a kid. Cody Clemens does, being around dad as a Yankee. Began to offer and did not. Crew chief James Hoy making that call at third base.
I think that's a good call. Close, but not enough.
2 balls and a strike on Clemens.
Well, for Ryan Weathers here, he just has to get an out, any out. You would trade it. You would trade the run for the out right here. Just get your first out of the ball game, get your feet under you. I think if you try to do too much here, you could be risking a crooked number.
Weathers has an outstanding pickoff move as Buxton stays and Clemens swings and misses. Fastball at 97. Good velo there from Weathers. 2-2.
Yeah, there's that velocity from Ryan. It's one of the things that makes him special, you know, being a left-handed pitcher with such high levels of velocity. It's not really his game, just fastballs, but he certainly has enough of it, and it helps set everything else up.
Now the 2-2. Sinker runs inside. The Yankees infield is back. They'll concede the run for a ground ball double play. And Weathers certainly more of a ground ball pitcher than he is a fly ball pitcher. Switch hitting DH Josh Bell is on deck. Buxton takes off and the pitch fouled back and just beneath our booth. Cody Clemens has homered in 3 straight games. Acquired from Philadelphia in April last season. He has been an excellent pickup for Minnesota, even go back to early last year.
Man, I'll tell you what, the home run that he hit off Garrett Cole the other night to the opposite field on a breaking ball, that was an impressive swing. You do not see that type of juice from a left-handed batter to the other field here in Yankee Stadium very often.
Buxton runs, throw to second base, and Byron is out. Buxton thrown out, stealing a base for the first time since 2024. And a big throw from Wells behind the plate. Martin stayed at third base. And the Yankees turn 2.
Yeah, and a great tag by Anthony Volpe. Gets Buck on the foot right here as he slides by. That's a great job by Austin Wells to make his throw on the first base side of the second base bag. I always tell catchers nowadays, if you're going to miss, that's the side to miss on. Gives the fielder a chance to catch a foot going by or something like that. Plays out perfectly right there on your screen.
So big flip in momentum, and now Josh Bell 2 down. Bell a 2-homer day yesterday. Has 13 on the season. And strike 1. Now Bell became the 7th Minnesota player ever to homer from both sides of the plate in the same game. A couple of former Yankees on that list, guys like Chili Davis and Roy Smalley in that group of 7. And what's interesting about that note for Bell, he's done it now 4 times in his career, each of the last 4 years, but doing so, Adam, with 4 different teams.
Yeah, he's become somewhat of a journeyman. I mean, you kind of know what you're going to get with Josh Bell. He's a very good hitter. Maybe not all-star caliber anymore, but this is a guy who can drive in runs. And what's cooler than homering from both sides of the plate on the same day? I mean, that's Little League stuff. That's really cool.
A moment ago, 2 on, nobody out. Strike him out, throw him out. And now 1-2 on Bell. In the air to right, slicing deep into the corner, and this one near the wall, jumping up, and that ball is going to be in play. It's off the wall. Bell is saved. Martin scores. Schumann nearly pulled it back. Instead, it's in play, and Minnesota strikes with a first-inning run.
Well, a lot to look at on this play. Number one, Josh Bell hits a pitch here above the zone, like way above the zone. It's impressive that he even got to this ball. But second, you know, I think Schumann saves the home run here. All right, here's the swing. You can see, I mean, that's impressive to be able to even touch that. That's neck high. Man, right down there near the short porch, right at the pole. Schumann gets leather on it, can't come up with it, but I get the sense like he might have saved a run there by keeping it in the yard.
So Bell picks up his team leading 60th run batted in. And Minnesota has the early lead, and now Royce Lewis did not go, ball one. Royce Lewis, the first overall pick in the 2017 draft. He has battled an assortment of injuries, mainly to his right leg, and now playing a new position here. In July, a guy that began the year playing third base, but now has really locked himself in as the primary first baseman now for Minnesota.
I've always felt like he had all the talent in the world. I know he dealt with a lot of injuries first couple years in the league, but every time that he would pop up healthy, he always seemed to go off.
Cued weakly, and Jazz Chisholm makes the play, and Lewis grounds out to end the inning. So Weathers limits the damage, but Minnesota strikes for one on the Bell RBI single. Early news for Minnesota. Byron Buxton, after reaching and trying to steal a base, does not play a single inning defensively today. He comes out. Kyler Fedko, the rookie, who has yet to pick up a big league hit, is now playing in center, and he will bat second. Let's go back to Buxton's slide.
Well, I don't see anything there initially. If anything, I actually thought Austin Martin's slide was a little more awkward than that one, but Buck obviously out of the game here early.
Trent Grisham leading things off for New York here today. Hit his 11th career leadoff home run off Mike Paredes here on Friday. Came off the injured list on Friday. Missed a couple of weeks with an injured right hamstring. And he's had a good weekend in his return.
Yeah, he's a major piece for the Yankees. They really missed him while he was out. Controls the zone extremely well and usually sets the tone for how the lineup wants to approach that pitcher each and every night.
Turned out to be one of 4 players that accepted the qualifying offer back in November, joining Shota Imanaga with the Cubs, Gleyber Torres with the Tigers, and Brandon Woodruff with Milwaukee. And this was coming off a career best 2025 for Grisham last season. Splitter from Ryan, 1 and 2 now on Grisham as we take a look at the two-time All-Star, Minnesota's ace right now, Joe Ryan.
Yeah, Joe Ryan, 18 starts this year, 3.61 ERA. If you look under the hood, he probably deserves an even better fate than that. 22 walks, 113 strikeouts is outstanding. He's always dictating these at-bats. He has the north-south element to his game as well as east-west. So there's really no challenge that an opposing team can throw at him that he can't work his way through, but he is coming off of his worst start of the season last outing versus Houston.
And strikes out Grisham with a splitter. That is tough to do. Grisham, low strikeout rate, high walk rate. And Ryan now 114 strikeouts this season.
Here's the Joe Ryan splitter. This pitch has been awesome this year. This one had a little more run to it, little fade off the corner. When you're anticipating that fastball that you have to meet at the top of the zone, changeup becomes that much better, and he shows it right there with the first out to Grisham.
Now Ben Rice. It was first All-Star team last night. 12th round pick out of Dartmouth. And like many in this Yankee lineup right now, struggling, just 5 for his last 44. Did homer here on Friday night. His 24th of the season. 0-2 the count. So we saw Grisham lead off. Ben Rice hitting second. And the Yankees have Jason Dominguez batting third. Bellinger. Anthony Volpe, good numbers lifetime against Ryan. Jazz Chisholm Jr. Max Schumann, Austin Wells, and Jose Caballero playing third base and batting ninth today. Swing and a miss on a curveball, and that has been a weapon that Ryan, he had in the past, but he's really upped the usage here at him so far this year.
You got to love the way it plays off of his fastball and really off of everything else. It gives you that 2 speeds down pitch. And what I mean by that is, you know, you have your top speed, you have your medium speed, your sliders, your changeups, what have you, and then you have a pitch like this that gets swings like this, where Ben Rice is way out, has to drop the knee, can't cover the whole front to the back of the plate there. It's just a really good change of pace for Joe.
2 down for Jason Dominguez, who is DHing today. Dominguez has been a regular In right field, going back to early June when Aaron Judge was put on the injured list, 23 years old, began the season at AAA, recalled to the big leagues in late April. Better numbers so far at home that he has displayed on the road. Quickly 0-2 on Dominguez, who homered here yesterday.
See if Joe Ryan can roll through the first 3 outs, all strikeouts right here.
The 0-2 from Ryan. In the air to right field and playable for Luke Kershaw. And the inning is over. A 10-pitch, 1-2-3 first for Joe Ryan. 1-0 Minnesota on a Josh Bell first inning RBI single. And Ryan Weathers today making his 17th start. See the ERA got off to a good start, but really climbed last month.
Yeah, I felt like early in the year he was still trying to figure out who he was out there with his pitch mix. Wasn't implementing the sweeper as much as he has from really about early May on. So I think he has his mix figured out, but occasionally he just gets himself in a little bit of trouble with location. Talking to Aaron Boone before the game, Ryan can have a tendency sometimes to get sped up in his delivery during a start, and that can affect things a little bit. But overall, this has been a nice pickup for the Yankees, and he has been able to, bounce back from poor starts pretty well this year. So I expect another one today.
The veteran switch hitting catcher Victor Caratini signed a 2-year deal as a free agent with Minnesota in the offseason, and his workload behind the plate has picked up considerably since Ryan Jeffers was lost to a broken hamate bone back in mid-May. And Caratini, with that, has been asked to catch more and more. And for more on that, let's check back in with Anthony. And you have seen, Victor really pick things up behind the plate with Jeffers being down.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you go out and get someone like him, a veteran in the offseason, to back up a guy like Ryan Jeffers. He gets hurt, and you've got a guy like Vic who can take over and really handle the staff, understand what he needs to do from that side of the ball, understands how to treat guys and how to keep that starting rotation in the same groove that they were in early in the year, how to make adjustments with the relievers, but then offensively to come in and make the contribution that he's made, knowing he has confidence and he's been there at the big league double, done it, and because of that, you see what he did here in June, where he was probably the best hitting catcher in all of baseball. Alex
Jackson caught yesterday, homered. Caratini back behind the plate here for Game 3 today. The 3-2, and Caratini strikes out. Not a good slider from Weathers, his second strikeout, and both have come with 3-2 counts.
Little gyro slider here. Ryan Weathers gets under the bat of Caratini, thinks he's swinging at a fastball. That was a critical pitch, in my opinion, for Ryan. He really needs to get his feet under him here in the second inning. Didn't want to allow that leadoff batter on, particularly with a walk.
Brooks Lee has had a tough weekend here in the Bronx, 0 for 8 with a walk. That's been rare because Lee has put together a nice season. Former first-round pick, began the year as Minnesota's starting shortstop, now playing third base. Drafted as a shortstop. He was playing shortstop throughout his minor league career, but with Carlos Correa here in the past, Lee was playing more at third base. And when Correa was traded to Houston at the deadline last year, Minnesota slid Lee over to short for the rest of 2025 and began the season in that spot until Derek Shelton changed up the defense he had to. The numbers have been that bad.
Yeah, I think he wanted to give him a nice long runway to evaluate him. And sure enough, a couple weeks ago, finally came to a conclusion that we should move him off of shortstop. But I always thought that giving a guy a runway is really the only way to find out. So very good of the Twins to do that.
Brooks Lee will challenge. A pitch that was called the strike.
Batter is challenging the call strike.
It was a ball, so Lee successful, and Minnesota retains its 2 challenges. Anthony?
Yeah, I think what's interesting about the defensive side of the ball, Brooks Lee moving away from shortstop, it all coincided with several other things. Royce Lewis gets sent down for a little bit. That opens up third base. You've got some other pieces that come up in a Ryder Kreidler.
As Lee singles to left. And picks up his first hit this weekend. Go ahead.
And it's almost a little bit of a perfect storm where they've got moving pieces, they've got athletic guys, and guys that are willing at the big league level to change their position, to swallow their pride a little bit and say, you know what, okay, maybe I'm not a shortstop right now. Let me go over to third base, let's see what I can do. Or Royce Lewis coming back up and getting to move to first base and learning a new position. It's really interesting to have that many guys on one roster willing to make those changes.
There's Ryan Kreidler batting. And a strike called. And a fastball at 97. Another guy that was asked to move positions. Not just Brooks Lee, and also the guy on deck in Luke Keeschall. Began as the team's second baseman. Now he's been the right fielder, making his 8th start in right. One and one on the veteran Ryan Kreidler. Great pickup for Minnesota. He's hit 5 homers in 46 games as a Twin when he had 2 in parts of 4 seasons as a Tiger. One and two. If you ask Kreidler about that, he'll tell you he's healthy, but also better bat speed.
Let's see if Weathers goes back to the changeup. Could serve 2 purposes here. He could get another swing and miss like he just got, or perhaps a ground ball. Well, there it is, but a little bit too low for the offer.
Well, the Yankees pitching numbers overall have been excellent. Second lowest ERA in the game, but this is a team that could use a quality start. Last time the Yankees received one of those was with Weathers in Detroit back on June 24th.
Yeah, you're totally right. As good as the starting pitching has been all year, and it's certainly the strength of this club, they're going through it a little bit right now. Not a lot of consistency. Cam Schlittler finally had his worst start of the year where he got hit around a little bit against Detroit. Will Warren's going through it at the moment. So they're looking for a little bit of stability on the mound today from Weathers.
Just lost Carlos Rodon to the injured list with an elbow injury earlier this weekend. Hard hit left side and past the lunging body of Caballero. And Lee will stop at second base. So Kreidler snaps an 0 for 15. And Minnesota has 2 on. And Luke Keeschall coming up.
Try to go backdoor sweeper here. Ball's lasered through the infield. That would have been an impossible play probably for Caballero. I know he expects to make every play, but that was a tricky hop. Really good swing there. I feel like after Weathers missed with that changeup down, you know, considering how many deep counts he's in or been in to this point of the game, he was forced to come in the zone there a little bit and was a little bit vulnerable.
Luke Keeschall, second-round pick out of Arizona State. Back in 2023, not only began the year as Minnesota's second baseman, he was hitting third. To start the season, struggled. His numbers have improved over the last month or so. Hit a home run here yesterday. 3 hits so far this weekend. Big cut on the change of pace from Weathers.
Big cut. That was a home run cut for sure. Well, you get yourself in a 1-0 count. Want to do damage, get that ace swing off, and you're okay with missing it there. A lot of at-bat to go.
To left field, and Cody Bellinger right there. And there are 2 down with Austin Martin coming up, who doubled and scored back in the first inning. Mentioned Carlos Rodon is out, but here are some significant losses right now, Adam, for New York.
Yeah, I mean, all huge names. Aaron Judge, obviously impossible to replace that type of production. I mean, the entire tone of the lineup just feels different without a minute. But it's the same with Stanton. You know, Stanton's in there. There's a different presence as well. And then these 3 guys on the mound. Clark Schmidt, they should have him back later in the year. We saw Max Fried throw a sim game earlier today. But Carlos Rodon just entered the IL. So a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of injuries and when they're going to come back. But those are huge, huge pieces for the Yankees to be out.
Without Aaron Judge, the Yankees are scoring fewer than 4 runs per game. Down by 1 early on today. Austin Martin, his second at bat. against Ryan Weathers. The Yankees have done a great job holding Minnesota back with runners in scoring position in this series. Entering the weekend, the Twins led the sport, batting close to .290 with runners in scoring position. Now the 1-1. Check swing, and he went.
Steady diet of off-speed pitches over the last several batters for Weathers. I don't expect that to change right here. Going to try to get Austin Martin to fish for something out of the zone, probably below the zone here. So change up or breaking ball.
Brooks Lee at second base. Ryan Kreidler at first. The 1-2, Weathers to Martin.
Man, that's a fantastic take by Martin right there. That pitch trended towards the zone the majority of the way before fading off the corner, so that was outstanding.
Martin got off to a great start, hit .313 back in April, but just .183 in June. Swing and a miss, strike 3 on a sweeper. So the Twins lead 2 more as Weathers picks up his 3rd strikeout today. Went off speed, and Martin strikes out. Still 1-0 Minnesota early in the rubber game of this series. Joe Ryan facing Cody Bellinger. As the Yankees' second begins, Bellinger's been swinging early this season, does so here, and for good reason. The numbers are on his side with Bellinger has put the first pitch in play. He's hitting almost 400. 2 for 7 lifetime against Ryan, including a home run that happened here at Yankee Stadium last year. The only run that Ryan allowed as he worked 6 2/3 innings. And start here last year, picking up the win. Cody Bellinger named an All-Star for the 3rd time in his first All-Star appearance since 2019. And he's been outstanding in left field, and it's been a while. I would imagine it's significant and not lost on the fact that Bellinger is an All-Star for the first time in a few years.
Yeah, that had to feel good for Cody. I mean, you look back at 2019, 2018, that era when he was with the Dodgers. You know, he's winning MVPs. He's one of the faces of baseball. Definitely went through a little bit of ups and downs since then. But he's been awesome this year. He affects the game on every level in the batter's box, on defense, and on the base paths. And really, without him, this team would be in big trouble because, you know, he's been really the steady, stable guy in there every day.
He had been in an RBI drought the last couple of weeks, ended yesterday with an RBI double. Still just 6 for his last 54. Now 2-2. Low strikeout rate, high walk rate.
He does a great job with 2 strikes. He changes his approach, puts the ball in play better than most.
You talk about Cody Bellinger in 2018, 2019. That's so different from that guy that we knew in 2018 and 2019. He was crashing into the baseball, and he's really developed into a much different hitter and a much better all-around hitter and all-around baseball player.
Hit weakly on the ground to Cody Clemens, and Bellinger hustling, but Clemens makes the play. And one down here in the New York second. And now Anthony Volpe. Mentioned Volpe, good numbers against Ryan, 6 for 12 with a home run. And Volpe, good numbers not just against Ryan, but Minnesota as a team is hit safely in all 18 games. Lifetime against Minnesota. Former Gold Glove winning shortstop, hitting .246 so far this season. Big cut and down to a knee. Volpe starting his 2nd straight game at short. Jose Caballero was at short on Friday. And that's worth watching, Adam, here as the Yankees now have Ryan McMahon back. They have Trent Grisham back. That time at short between Caballero and Volpe moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, there was a stretch this year where Caballero was the everyday shortstop and Anthony was still in AAA getting ready, and they kept delaying his rehab because there just wasn't a spot for him at the moment. Things opened up.
Pull to left and hooking foul.
Things opened up. He's able to, he's been able to get up here and do his thing. But now that they're a little bit more whole out there defensively, I'm wondering how often we will see Anthony. I think we're going to see a lot of Caballero at shortstop for the next foreseeable future here.
And Ryan tapping his chest. He got away with a breaking ball there. And knew it. This was Joe Ryan after the previous pitch was pulled foul. And Ryan, upon contact, knew he missed his spot. Swing and a miss, struck him out, went back to the curveball. It's 5 up, 5 down for Ryan, picking up his 3rd strikeout.
Yeah, slow, and slower here. A bunch of breaking balls with 2 strikes to Anthony. Obviously, the mistake that we just showed. Then one a little further away, and then he pulls it even slower here on the curveball to finish the at-bat. So a really good read there by Joe. It's something that I've noticed in a growth area from him this year, just having a phenomenal season reading the hitter's swings at the plate.
Jazz Chisholm Jr. A good look at Ryan's first fastball here in the 2nd inning. And Chisholm, like many, fighting it right now for his last 27.
And you can see the difficulty of hitting Joe Ryan right there. I mean, that fastball is right down the middle, first pitch to Jazz, yet he comes in underneath it. Joe has such good lift on that 4-seam fastball that it forces batters to literally change their swing path to meet it, and then that starts the chase from there. So it all starts with that 4-seam, and the Yankees are going to try to match the plane to that when they can.
And Chisholm has not done well against 4-seam fastballs so far here this season, as Ryan misses the corner. And now 2-1 on Jazz Chisholm Jr., 28 years old, and could be a free agent at season's end.
And Adam, you talk about them having to change their swing plane to try to meet that fastball, and that's what makes those other pitches that he's really developing so much more effective. When you can drop that curveball in off of that, the splitty in off of that, and they've already had to change their bat path to meet a fastball up at the top of the zone, that is impossible to do because now you're talking about 2 completely different swings, and you almost have to pick one going into each pitch.
2-2, and it's high.
You're totally right, Anthony. I always equate it to like a double team in basketball. Once your attention goes on one thing, the guy with the ball in basketball or the fastball like Joe's throwing, then your attention cannot possibly be there for everything else. So we call it the chase. You start hunting that pitch that you know you're going to get, and all of a sudden everything else is wide open for the pitcher.
A personality on the mound, a personality at the plate. Ryan and Chisholm Jr. Again, the 3-2. Those two, look at them. They're like staring at each other. No conversation after that swing.
Well, they both know that Jazz got a pitch to hit right here. Pitcher knows it, hitter knows it, and yet he got away with it. So not surprised these two were having a little laugh about that.
Behind the plate, and no play for Caratini. And this is what some teams can do against Ryan. If you look at his pitch line, now some short starts because they elevate the pitch count with an at-bat like this.
Well, when you have such a special 4-seamer like Joe Ryan has, oftentimes when you don't quite miss the bat, you just barely hit it, and those result in those foul balls that we've seen right now, those foul balls back behind home plate.
9th pitch coming up to Chisholm Jr. and is ripped to right on the line in the corner, and that's going to be a fair ball. One up's off the wall. He will try for 2 and now stop as Keyshaw gets it back in. So Chisholm Jr. earned that. A 2-out single pulled to right, and New York has some speed on. Down 1 early on today.
Well, it took him long enough in this at-bat, but Jazz came in with a totally different swing on this pitch finally. A lot more choppy with the hands, stays on top of this fastball, and he's able to line it up. All you have to do is line it up, and then obviously he's got enough athleticism to put the ball in play at a high clip. Smashes it out to right field. Isn't able to get the double because of the carom, but credit Jazz for making a nice swing adjustment there throughout that at bat.
Throw back to first base, and now in a rundown. Clemens chasing it back, and now it's Lewis on the move. He'll fake the flip and tag Chisholm out to end the inning. So Jazz Chisholm Jr. took off early, and the Twins make a play. And Joe Ryan is through 2 scoreless so far in the Bronx. Nothing Minnesota. Third inning about to begin, and Kyler Fedko came in for Byron Buxton when the Yankees came to hit in the bottom half of the first inning, and Buxton trying to steal a base thrown out by Austin Wells and did not come out defensively in the bottom half of the opening inning. Buxton was sidelined this week, not on the injured list, with a right hip injury. Derek Shelton clearing Buxton to play yesterday. And starting today, 1 hit, but he is out, and now the rookie Kyler Fedko.
Well, you would hope it was just precautionary, you know, get your star player out of there. No need to mess around, because ultimately this team cannot afford to lose Byron Buxton right now.
Fedko 0 for 10 to begin his major league career, and we just got word from the Twins clubhouse that yes, Byron did leave the game as he re-aggravated the aforementioned right hip. Fedko, 12th round pick by Minnesota in 2021, played collegiately at UConn. He was never a prospect, but a guy that just earned his way, putting up good numbers in the minor leagues last year, made some swing changes, and was performing so well in the minor leagues this season, specifically against left-handed pitching, and got his opportunity last month.
Gibsonia, Pennsylvania. Always good to see a guy just straight earn his way to the big leagues, so hopefully we can get to see for that first career hit right here.
Adam, is that a big deal? You prep for a lineup, and then you see a guy, he comes out, and then someone you maybe did not prep for in that he wasn't starting is now hitting this early in the game?
It can be, but I think you'll always take Byron Buxton to be replaced by pretty much anybody. So, in Weathers' mind, this is probably a good thing.
As Fedko strikes out looking, so 1 down. 4th strikeout for Weathers, averaging 10 strikeouts per 9 innings this season.
Little backdoor sweeper here. That pitch probably felt about a foot outside out of the hand. Comes all the way back to clip the corner. Very nice pitch right there for Mr. Weathers.
Now Cody Clemens struck out swinging in the first. Good pitch on the corner. Slider for strike 1.
All right, so 2 batters, 2 first pitch strikes to start off the 3rd inning. That's something he wasn't doing consistently through the first 2 innings, so maybe settling in here a little bit.
You see his pitch count so far, 51. Keep in mind, what, 45 over the first 2 innings today.
Yeah, not only that, he's also gone to a much heavier off-speed approach. We've seen quite a few non-fastballs since he started off this game.
Weathers today has now moved past 90 innings thrown this season, and for a guy who's had this lengthy injury history, how did the Yankees get him to the finish line right now in terms of workload?
Yeah, we talked with Aaron Boone about it a bit before the game. He is approaching his all-time high watermark for innings. This is a guy who's had plenty of injuries in the past. But I think now they're using science. They're using science and technology a lot more in terms of monitoring workloads of their guys. They tend to radar every throw that these guys make, even in their catch play. And they're really just trying to listen to the numbers, let the numbers kind of dictate how much to put on a guy, how much to take off his plate, and to see if they can't kind of tiptoe him through the entire season.
Yeah, and Adam, when you say the numbers, I mean, it's not even just his pitch velocity in game or even in his bullpens. It's really about some of the work they do in the weight room and some of the explosivity and the way they can measure it, and just making sure that they're seeing the same guy out there day in and day out that they saw early in the year.
It's a first and glove by Rice. And there are 2 down. Base is empty for Josh Bell. Speaking of Josh Bell, a 2-homer day yesterday in Minnesota as an offense mentioned earlier, leading the American League in runs scoring, have hit 7 home runs so far in the first 2 games of this series.
Well, I can't get the Bomba squad out of my head from a few years back when I was with the Yankees playing against Minnesota in Minnesota, and we had an absolutely insane series with like 30 home runs hit over 3 or 4 days. And, you know, certainly hasn't been a part of the narrative as much as of late, but this last month they are the kings of baseball with all the home runs.
Sounds like there may be a therapist in your future from that experience there, Adam.
Yeah. I mean, I was able to avoid it a little bit. Aaron Hicks made a nice catch one time to save us, but yeah, scary lineup to face those years.
That Twins team was unbelievable. I mean, the pace that they were on. I remember watching that from afar a little bit. That was my first year I was out of baseball, and that was something special.
Changeup, and Ryan Weathers has his first 1-2-3 inning today. 3 up, 3 down. Now 5 strikeouts so far today. Welcome back. Illumination's Minions and Monsters is the genius and totally true story about 2 minions who set out to make a movie and unwittingly unleash monsters onto the world. See Minions and Monsters only in theaters right now. Max Schumann leading off. The Yankees' third had a really good day yesterday, reaching 4 times. 2 hits, a home run, also walked twice. Starting in right field today. That's a 1-ball, 1-strike count on Schumann. He's provided a spark no matter where he's played.
He has. He's filled a role. You know, it was no secret the Yankees were in the market for a versatile right-handed hitting player who can play some outfield. Schumann's done a nice job with it. He's comfortable in his role. And I think that's the big key, you know, just being comfortable with it. Not dying to get into the starting role anytime soon, just kind of taking what you get and running with it.
He's been an outstanding pinch hitter starting today. He's played more outfield than infield with the Yankees, acquired from the A's in early February. Aaron Judge out. Schumann in right today. It's been Jason Dominguez for the most part. But Dominguez DHing today. Austin Wells is on deck.
That's a big part of Schumann's game right there. The lack of chase. Doesn't follow the pitchers out of the strike zone often. Always gives himself a chance with something in zone.
The 3-2 count. Ryan to Schumann. And he struck him out. Fastball at 95. And the 4th strikeout for Ryan so far today. And 1 down.
Joe Ryan with a little extra pepper on his fastball today. Up about 1.5 miles from his season average. Maybe a little Yankee Stadium juice today, but whatever the case may be, he's going to go ahead and ride that. He's got a tremendous fastball as it is, but when it's playing faster, all the better.
4th highest strikeout rate amongst his American League peers as starters. So Cam Schlittler on that list as well. He'll pitch tomorrow as the Yankees begin a key 4-game series against Tampa Bay at Tropicana Field. 2 balls and no strikes on Austin Wells. His 2 for his last 28. And this was after hitting 21 home runs at him a season ago. And we spoke with Aaron Boone about Wells a bit this morning.
Yeah, hard to get your head wrapped around the season he's had so far. This is a guy who continually controls the strike zone well. Obviously not right there, chasing that sweeper right there from Joe. But generally speaking, swings and pitches over the plate, has some pop. This is a guy who out of the draft, they said this guy will hit. We don't know about catch. Now it's kind of the opposite.
Well hit to right field towards the corner, and that lands off the wall. And Wells, like Chisholm Jr., will stop at first base. So it's a one-out single. Twins have their second hit of Joe Ryan so far today.
Well, boy, did Austin Wells need that. We've talked about his struggles, but it's really been on breaking balls. He hadn't had an extra base hit on a breaking ball in several months. Obviously, doesn't get an extra base hit here either, but it was certainly decent enough contact quality to warrant that. But you know, perfect carom off the right field wall there, holds him to a single. But man, he needed a good piece of contact right there.
Yeah, guys. I mean, you talk about those caroms off the wall, and Luke Keeschel out there in right field. He's been out in right field for all of a week now, maybe a little more. And it's really a nice job by him, a guy who has not played outfield much in his lifetime, to understand how to play, because that is a very tough right field corner to try to play as a right fielder, even if you're a regular, and he is not.
0-2 on Jose Caballero.
And it's huge right here because Austin Wells is not going to steal second base, whereas a lot of other Yankee players would with Joe Ryan on the mound. But if he could have got on second base there, that would have been a big difference in this inning, but that's not the case.
Swing and a miss, struck him out on a 3-pitch mix. And there's the sweeper from Ryan. Now 5 strikeouts and 2 down for Trent Grisham.
The old swinging underneath the sweeper. This is something that is a phenomenon of guys that have really good sweepers like Joe Ryan. They kind of stay up a little more than the batter's anticipating, and that barrel dips below the ball.
On 1 on Grisham. You know, Anthony, hitters often look at perceived carry when they're studying what the pitcher may throw, and with Joe Ryan, that unique arm slot, there's perceived carry, but then there's actual carry, truly where the ball is traveling.
Absolutely, because he has such a low arm slot. And, I mean, when you have an arm slot that low, naturally, if you're throwing a fastball up in the zone, it's just going to have a little bit, like, different look to it, and almost that it adds that rise factor to it without even having the backspin. And then you add to the fact that he does have a high revolution four-seamer. So you put all those things together, and it makes for a really special fastball from Joe Ryan.
Grisham struck out swinging his first time up, and the 1-1 is popped up. Ryan Kreidler and makes the play with Austin Martin racing in behind him. Collision avoided, and we're through 3. Well, 1-0 Minnesota after 3. Ben Rice, one of 4 Yankees that will be in Philadelphia for the All-Star game. Rosters revealed last night, and the Yankees and the Rays leading the American League with 4 players each. Now, Toronto in there as well. Dodgers, Braves, and Phillies all represented with 5. What was your takeaway looking at the All-Star rosters last night?
Well, first, that's the National League pitching staff is utterly ridiculous this season. I mean, I don't know if they'll all pitch in the game, but it's pretty dang explosive. Also really cool to see that there wasn't any real hard stretches to get every team involved this year, which I never am a huge fan of. But yeah, it should be a really good game this year in Philly.
Ball and no strikes on Royce Lewis. Since the position change last 25 games, Lewis is hitting over 260 with 5 home runs.
Such a talented player. I couldn't believe that it had gotten where it got this year, where he got sent down for a stretch.
And it wasn't due to injury. It was truly performance-based. And a couple of years ago, Minnesota pondered the idea of Lewis moving over to second base. It did not happen then. Out of the best interest of this team, Royce really had no say. Went down to AAA at that point and started to play more on the right side, some second base and first, and worked with former Minnesota MVP Justin Morneau.
Former teammate of mine.
So Lewis draws a walk. And there's the first walk issued by Weathers today.
Crazy how first base has become that position these days where they'll just move you over to first base. There's not some big hulking slugger that's just there permanently anymore around the league as often.
And that position has been really a revolving door for Minnesota in recent years. Back-to-back Gold Glove winning players left. Carlos Santana 2 years ago. Ty France won a Gold Glove last year. 0-2 now on Caratini. Derek Shelton saw the numbers defensively. Poor. And no matter what you're looking at, defensive runs saved, outs above average. And he said, not going to go based on last year, but to watch it with my own two eyes. The entire staff will take a look and see how this team is doing defensively and then adjust. And they have. Going back to mid-May. 0-2 now on Victor Caratini. Weathers has a great move. 19 pickoffs since 2021. Fifth most from any pitcher since 2021.
Heavy off-speed usage over the past 2 innings from Weathers. Let's see if he sticks with that right here.
Good call. Changeup. And Caratini strikes out for the second time.
Yeah, here's that Ryan Weathers changeup. Perfect execution down and away in the zone. When you have a runner on first base, you can get 2 positive outcomes after out of this type of pitch choice. You can get a ground ball double play chance, or you can get the swing and miss. So it's been a heavy dosage of changeups and sliders as of late for Weathers.
Minnesota offensively has been a good fastball hitting team. They've been a good breaking ball hitting team, but the changeup and the split, that's been a popular option for opposing pitchers all season long. Oh, and 2.
Showing much better command of his off speed, so makes sense. You want to dictate the counts. He was falling behind early, throwing a lot of fastballs. All of a sudden, he's back on the plus side of things. 0-1, 0-2 on a bunch of guys, especially when he goes to the heavy off speed.
And Blake looking on. Weathers today, his 17th start. He has never made more than 18 starts in a major league season, which he did during his rookie season in San Diego in 2021. Blocked by Wells. Lewis will try. Throw to second. Is not in time.
This is a great dirt ball read by Royce. Anticipating a ball potentially in the dirt. As soon as he sees it hit the ground, he's off.
That's the big thing, too. The key there is anticipation, because this ball didn't get that far away from Austin Wells. He does a nice job of smothering it, just trickles to his left, picks it up quick, and actually makes a decent throw, but it wouldn't have mattered because Royce Lewis made a great read. And like you said, it's all about that anticipation.
So Lewis now at second. Lee has been good with runners in scoring position as Weathers does throw and nearly hits Royce on the back of his helmet.
I think he did. We got Jazz giving him a pat on the back here. Let's see.
It's a nice job by Lewis going in, standing up, because it makes it a lot harder for the pitcher to deliver something that you could put a tag on. And with Jazz coming from the second base side, that makes it that much tougher for that play.
Coming up on the nameplate, still 1-2 on Brooks Lee.
I don't know if Lewis wants third base, but he's certainly dancing quite a bit out there at second base right now. So if nothing else, he's at least doing a pretty good job of being a distraction.
Brooks named after Hall of Famer Brooks Robinson. His dad, Larry Lee, legendary college coach at Cal Poly. And ideally, they wanted to name their son after Lou Brock. But they thought, you know what, Brock Lee might give him a hard time growing up. So Brooks Robinson, good backup option.
Broccoli, I love that. And just go for it. Why not? Son of a legendary coach, makes sense why he had no problem moving positions.
Right.
Well, we got a double disengagement, 1 out. You'd like to get to third here. We'll see. I don't know.
Lewis takes off, and the pitch is hit foul. Twins as a team have stolen third base 5 times, and Lewis has one of those 5.
Well, on paper, it makes sense here. You know, get to third base with less than 2 outs. You got the double disengagement. You should be able to get a good jump. But you also do risk being a little bit of a distraction here with 2 strikes to the batter.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It depends on the hitter. You got to know your hitter in that situation and whether they appreciate that for you or not. Because when you're at the plate, your number one job, right? I mean, you're trying to get a hit regardless. I mean, yeah, if he's at third, it'd be great. Sac fly, maybe ground ball up the middle might score him. But you're also, I mean, you're wanting to do a job. And when someone's dancing around out there and then taking off, that can definitely distract you from that release point. And that split second is all it takes for you to get beat by a pitch.
Lewis stays, and the pitch line to left field and a base hit. And Royce Lewis will round third base and score. RBI single from Brooks Lee. He is 2 for 2, and Minnesota now leads 2-0.
Well, didn't need him to get to third base after all. Gets a fastball, is able to beat him to the spot. Line drive into left. Royce Lewis scores easily. And we're seeing here, you know, Weather's looking for opportunities to throw the fastball. But so far in this game, he's had much better results when he stays away from it. So let's see if he gets right back on the horse with the off speed here.
And the extra 90 feet taken by Lewis on that right in the dirt. A key play as Lee bluffs towards second, does not go. Ball 1 to Kreidler. So after Weathers got the pitch count, Adam back in check with a 1-2-3 third is climbing again here in the 4th.
It is, and you really got to give credit to Lee there. That was a fantastic at bat. Had 2 strikes on him, fouled off a number of pitches before finally delivering there.
2 balls and no strikes. It was an 8-pitch at bat to Brooks Lee. Ryan Kreidler snapped an 0 for 15 with a single to left in the 2nd.
Should get a challenge pitch to hit right here. Nope. Right to the changeup. So yeah, Ryan, you can tell he's definitely going to shy away from that fastball and fastball counts right now. I know he's probably risking not getting deep into the game with that approach, but at this point he's got to put the brakes on the run scoring at all costs.
On the ground is short. Volpe to Chisholm Jr. on to first, and the Yankees turn 2. The Twins score 1, but the Yankees turn an inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. Minnesota on top 2-0. Yankees batting bottom 4. Joe Ryan today has the strikeout pitch, but really pitches going so far through 3.
Yeah, showing you the full breadth of the arsenal right here. 2 punch-outs on knuckle curves, 1 on a split, and 1 on a 4-seam and sweeper as well. That's the big thing about Joe Ryan. He's really become much more of a complete pitcher over the last several years. We've talked about it a lot. The 4-seam, obviously, you know, is the main trait that makes him special. But he has really every kind of pitch you could ever want. He can solve every problem out there. It's just a matter of him getting ahead and dictating each at bat.
As Rice grounds out to Clemens and 1 away. Now, speaking of that pitch usage with Ryan today, Adam, Joe was talking about that a bit yesterday inside the visitors clubhouse, and he brought up the name Charlie Morton. And he said Charlie Morton gave him a great piece of advice about pitching years ago. He said you got to look at pitching like a traffic jam. Sometimes you go, sometimes you stop. Sometimes you have to navigate a different path to where you're going because of either traffic or construction. And the ability to adapt. I think Ryan has done that this year more than he has in the past when he leaned so heavily on a very good 4-seam fastball.
Yeah, and listen, the longer you play in the league, the much more prepared the batters are to face you. I mean, everybody in this entire league is aware of Joe Ryan's fastball and that they're going to have to attack that a little bit differently. but he's already ahead of that. So as soon as he feels any type of threat towards that four-seam fastball, he's got a number of other pitches to go to. And for me, the splitter has really become, such an effective pitch for him. He throws it, and they get tons of chase, gets tons of chase out of it. And if you can get hitters to swinging pitches out of the strike zone, that's always a good thing.
Anthony, what has stood out about watching Joe Ryan's pitch mix so far this season to you?
So far this season, about his pitch mix, it's really been about just the variation and the fact that he's willing to go to anything whenever he needs it. And I think that's...
To Lewis, and he'll race to the bag himself, 2 down.
That's really what's made him so effective, is that he can kind of rise to any challenge. No matter what hitter comes up, he's going to have something, some kind of an answer for them. And really when you have that in your back pocket, you become a totally different weapon out there. And I think Joe is really just starting to understand what he's capable of, and that's why we're seeing the changes to his repertoire and really the amount that he's willing to go to that curveball and that splitty. It's definitely a fun evolution to watch, and definitely something I know that's going to continue to elevate his game as the years go by.
2 down, now Cody Bellinger. Grounded out to second, his first time up. And strike 1. Ryan is 30 years old. He could be a free agent at the end of 2027. Big cut. And Ryan beat Bellinger at 94, 0-2.
Yankees trying to do something to break up the rhythm right now, but they have nothing going right now. Joe is feeling free and easy out there.
The Yankees so far 2 singles, Chisholm Jr. in the second and Wells in the third.
There's the Bellinger 2-strike approach showing up right there. Able to lay off a couple pretty close pitches here from Joe.
Re-signed as a free agent, a 5-year deal with the Yankees back in January. Struck him out as Ryan paints off the outside corner. 3 up, 3 down for Joe Ryan here in the Yankees' fourth. It is 2-0 Minnesota in the rubber game of this 3-game series. Welcome back. Score big on authentic gear at MLBshop.com. From official jerseys and memorabilia to hats and hoodies, we've got the season covered for you. Scan the QR code on your screen right now or check out MLBshop.com, the official source for your favorite team gear. 5th inning underway, and Minnesota has a 2-0 lead. Corey Provis, Adam Ottavino, Anthony Recker, and our Peacock crew on this holiday weekend. Did you know that there is a Luke Keyshaw combine rule? And the draft is coming up here shortly. And Keyshaw drafted in 2023 in the 2nd round. And Keyshaw, while he was meeting with teams at the combine a couple of years ago, and that's a foul ball, he was meeting with many teams, among them the Red Sox. And Keyshaw, he wrestled when he was growing up. And that topic came up in conversation while meeting with the Red Sox. And a team advisor with Boston pointed to somebody else in the room. Well, he said, well, this guy, he wrestled too. Do you think you could take him? And Keyshaw said, yeah, I think I could take him. Sure enough, he did. But after that, they said, you know what? Imagine that's a pitcher. You got him, in a grapple and you tear his labrum. So now there's no physical contact anymore with potential drafted players at the combine because of Luke Keyshaw.
So who did they have him wrestle?
Just somebody in the Red Sox room. I'm not sure if it was somebody in their front office, somebody with their draft or personnel, what have you. And Keyshaw, yeah, he took charge rather quickly.
Well, that's what great wrestlers do. They take charge right away. And you can see it. You can see the wrestler in this guy, low center of gravity there. I wouldn't want to get in a scrap with him.
All right, so Keyshaw on one side and maybe Anthony Recker on the other. Who are you taking?
Guys, I'm not a wrestler. I'll say that right now. I would, I'll grapple with somebody, but Luke Keyshaw, he's got a good base to him. He's definitely going to be a guy that's going to be tough to move. And for me, like, he's way more valuable than I am too. So if I did anything to him, I'd be fired immediately. Like, I wouldn't even have a job. So I can't be doing things like that.
Kershaw hit by a pitch. He'll take his base. And the leadoff man is on for the third time in 5 innings for Minnesota. And now Austin Martin.
Hey, Anthony, you talk about being hard to, make a move. He didn't move a muscle right there getting hit by that pitch.
I'll tell you what, that was something as a hitter. I didn't have that. As a catcher, I got hit all the time. You'd think it'd be easy to just sit there and let the ball hit you. But as a hitter, I was getting out of the way. I was always not consciously. It just, that ball was coming at you. It's just a survival instinct took over. And it was, okay, I'm out of here. And some guys have the ability to do that.
Kershaw, 12 stolen bases to lead the team. And down low as Weathers is behind. Now 2 balls and no strikes. And for now, the Yankees bullpen is quiet, but that may change here momentarily, as he is seeing this Minnesota lineup now a third time today.
Yeah, it is now. They're sending Wells out here for a little breather. Get the bullpen arm working here.
Aaron Boone and the Yankees did add an arm today. Paul Blackburn is up. Angel Shavi'i is back active. Brendan Beck, who started yesterday for New York, was optioned out after the game.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me today's MLB scores.
Two balls and no strikes on Austin Martin, who was the 5th overall pick by Toronto in the 2020 draft. And he found his way to Minnesota a year later, along with Simeon Woods Richardson, and the trade that sent Jose Barrios from Minnesota to Toronto. Sixth 3-ball count of the day for Weathers. And strike 1. Kyler Fedko on deck. Byron Buxton leaving after 1 at bat, re-aggravating an injured right hip. And strike 2 called, and Martin will challenge. He has been aggressive this year as a hitter with ABS. And he was right. The Twins challenge more than any other team by a wide margin. That's in terms of hitters, catchers. Derek Shelton pretty honest. He said from the get-go he does not want any of his pitchers challenging, and so far through 90 games that has happened, as after hitting Kershaw, Weathers walks Martin. And here comes Aaron Boone. And makes the move for Blackburn. So Minnesota leading by 2 as 2 on, nobody out. And Kyler Fedko coming up when we come back here on Peacock. MLB Star Spangled Sunday. Every team, every game, one home. Action continues on NBC Peacock and NBC Sports Network. Here at Yankee Stadium, Minnesota on top of the Yankees 2-0. Twins batting 2 on, nobody out. And Paul Blackburn, high ground ball rate, takes over for Weathers here in the 5th.
Yeah, Paul Blackburn really been on a roll for the Yanks over the past month or so. Hasn't allowed a run since the 17th of June. Big time ground ball pitcher. Going to look for one of those right here.
See if Fedko shows bunt. Indeed he does, and pops it up. Chasing Blackburn, slides and just can't get there.
Oh my goodness, he's going to watch the replay and really want this one back. This is a dream for a pitcher, an opportunity to catch a pop-up in foul territory. Thought he got a great jump off the mound to go get this one. He was there. Just off the end of the glove, though. Oh, man.
Dream for a catcher to be able to try to get over there, and Austin Wells couldn't quite find his footing to get there. So it ends up being Paulie Blackburn trying to make the play.
You never know what the first pitch is going to be like when you come in a ball game, huh? You're going to have full speed sprint into foul territory? Unbelievable.
That's not usually on the bingo card.
Ben Rice already in at first base. Fedko shows and now pulls back as Blackburn steps off. Second at bat for Fedko, 0 for 11 to begin his major league career.
Gave away the bunt there after that little inside move by Blackburn, so Yankees should be fully anticipating and crashing the bunt.
And strike two as Fedko pulled it back. So instead of Byron Buxton here, 2 on, nobody out. He's out with a hip injury. It's the rookie Fedko.
You got to wonder how many times a guy like Kyler Fedko, we showed his AAA numbers earlier, 286 with 15 home runs this year, probably not asked to bunt very often.
The 0-2 from Blackburn. It's a center field. And caught by Grisham. But Keyshaw will tag. Martin trying for second. He'll make it as well. So it wasn't a bunt, but it played out like that. As Fedko flies out, advancing not just one, but both of his teammates. Keyshaw to third, Martin down to second. We'll see if the Yankees have the infield come in here for Cody Clemens.
I love the base running on the back end here by Austin Martin. Sees Trent Grisham going back on this ball. I think Trent got a little bit of a poor read off the bat here. Ball hit on a line. Takes advantage of that fact, is able to move up 90 feet, and now they have 2 guys in scoring position with the 1 out.
The Twins run the contact play often. Infield is indeed in. And Cody Clemens 0 for 2 today. His first look at a righty here this afternoon. To first and a foul ball.
This is the classic matchup of the pitcher who's good at achieving a ground ball, drawing a ground ball, and he's pitching for it, and the batter who's trying to elevate and hit a ball in the air and get the sac fly. So a little bit of a contrast of what each guy's trying to do here, and it's interesting always to see who comes out on top in these spots.
Twins number 1 in baseball. Runners in scoring position. And now a 2-1 count.
If you're pitching in this situation, you continue to not give in. You continue to throw borderline pitches. Try to get the batter to go ahead and swing at your pitch.
Well, and a lot of that is because you've got a base open here at first base. So yes, you do not want to load the bases, but worst case scenario, you load the bases and you still have a chance for a ground ball double play with a guy like Josh Bell on deck, who is a really good double play candidate.
3-1 to Clemens. And that's strike 2 on the corner. Changeup.
Yeah, and you see it right here, going 3-1 changeup with the base open to Anthony's point. It wouldn't surprise me if he doubled up on that choice right here.
Second and third, 1 out. Blackburn to Clemens and the 3-2. He struck him out swinging on a curveball. Big out from Blackburn, and there are 2 down.
Yeah, you're right, Corey. Fantastic pitch right here. The knuckle curveball from Blackburn. 3-2 count. Believe it or not, 3-2 is one of the biggest chasing counts there is. So you don't give in there. You don't come over the plate. You throw the curveball, and you draw the swing.
Now Josh Bell from the left side. And strike 1. And Bell will challenge.
Minnesota's challenging the strike ball.
A strike, and Minnesota has 1 remaining. Yankees bullpen has been excellent this season. Second lowest ERA in the game.
You'll continue to see Paul Blackburn throughout this whole at-bat try to get Josh Bell to chase. It's still the same scenario here. A walk doesn't beat you, but a hit certainly does. so he's going to avoid contact at all costs.
So the note that Bell has been excellent with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this season. 3.15 bullpen ERA, only Atlanta with a sub-3. Has a lower ERA than the Yankees. 3-1. Josh Bell, a quiet start to his season. Had a big month of June. 2-homer day yesterday. And there's ball 4. And briefly got away from Wells, but the bases are loaded. And Royce Lewis is coming up. The second at bat with the bases loaded this weekend. And when Royce Lewis was making noise to start his big league career, he was coming through time and time again in spots like this as Matt Blake heads out to visit with Blackburn. And a big spot upcoming here at him in this game. Twins up by 2, 3 on, 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, this is really a huge spot in this game right now, Corey. Got bases loaded. You got a right-on-right matchup, so he pitched his way into the matchup that he wants right here. But Paul's job here is to throw up the 0 and keep the game right where it is. Yankees have not had enough offense to overcome a 4 or 5 run deficit. So that's why Booney made this move right here, is to put out this fire.
So Royce Lewis coming up here with the bases loaded. And Minnesota on top 2-0 as the meeting is over. Lewis a walk and a run, and he's also bounced out. See his career numbers: 6 grand slams. This year just 2 for 12. On 1.
The other part of this matchup that's interesting is Paul Blackburn, not a huge swing and miss guy. And in a situation like this with the bases loaded and 2 outs, you want to get ahead, but you also are looking just to generate some swing and miss, because even a ground ball, even though you're a good ground ball pitcher, can result in runs if it squeaks through.
Save that time by Wells. That one never had a chance, that curveball. And it's even on Lewis.
You know, with the knee down style, you see the catchers a lot of times using that glove hand, just trying to pick everything. Wells did a nice job there keeping that in front.
Hard hit and a base hit to center. Keyshaw is in. Here comes Austin Martin and Royce Lewis. A 2-out, 2-run single, and the lead doubles. It is 4-0 Minnesota.
Well, there it is. I'm sure Paul wanted to stay on the edges there versus Royce Lewis. Ends up leaving a sinker middle. And Royce is perfectly on time for it. He saw a sinker on the first pitch, so he was calibrated. He did not miss this one. Hit this right back up the box.
Hit batter and 2 walks, and Minnesota capitalizes. And now 4-0.
Yeah, looking back on this inning, it's certainly not the mistake fastball there by Paul Blackburn that you're going to think about after this game. You're going to think about the hit by pitch leading off the inning and the walk following it from Weathers. That set up all the trouble. And even though I think Paul's thrown the ball pretty well since he's come back in, he had absolutely no margin for error to work with there.
Caratini. His first at bat left-handed. Struck out twice against Weathers, and Weathers charged for all 4 runs. Now Blackburn's 1-1. Yankees will have in their half of the 5th inning Volpe, Chisholm Jr. and Schumann.
Inning not over yet. Twins looking to tack on a few more here and really grab a hold of this game for good.
Now 3-1. I asked Eric Shelton about the run that Victor Caratini was on offensively in June. He said it not a shock that it coincided with regular playing time. Anthony, there's something to that. You know, catching every day and just finding himself in a rhythm both defensively but also offensively.
Offensively, I mean, I can't speak to it enough. As a guy who I played once, maybe twice a week when I was in the big leagues, and it's really hard to keep a rhythm like that. So my best at-bats were always late in the game after I got a few under my belt, but when you're seeing it every day, that can definitely help.
Lofted out to right, and Schumann makes the play, inning over, but Minnesota adds on. Royce Lewis with the bases loaded drives in 2. The Twins, what was 2-0, is now a 4-0 Minnesota lead at the halfway point here in the Bronx. Royce Lewis, a 2-out, 2-run single. It is 4-0 Minnesota. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, scan the QR code on your screen or go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Blackburn allowing the 2-out, 2-run single to Lewis. All 4 runs charged to Ryan Weathers. And Joe Ryan now pitching with a 4-run lead. You see that line, Adam, so far today, 59 pitches in.
Yeah, 11 of 14 first pitch strikes, so he's dictated everything. It's kind of the opposite of what we saw from Ryan Weathers on the other side. That's allowed Joe Ryan to get some quick outs as well as set himself up for some very fast strikeouts.
Volpe struck out swinging earlier today as Ryan misses outside. Volpe underwent left shoulder surgery in October, activated on May 4th, an option to AAA as Jose Caballero was just playing too well at the time. Recalled on May 12th after Caballero suffered a right fractured middle finger. And Volpe over his last now 10 games is 4 for his last 30. Caballero playing third base and batting ninth today. Popped up. And Brooks Lee. We're out number 1. Jazz Chisholm Jr. picked up the first Yankee hit in the second and the hardest hit ball of his career, but we have personality against personality. But Chisholm off the bat 112.4 miles an hour, but then was picked off, ending the second inning.
Really getting kind of the full experience with both of these guys today, Joe Ryan and Jazz Chisholm, I should say. But yeah, right there, I mean, he did great adjustment with the bat, finally got on top of that four-seam fastball, picked off one pitch later. So guy with incredible talent, can be frustrating at times. Just needs to channel that a little bit better, but you got to love that swing as well. So you live with it a little bit on both ends with Jazz.
Another good swing. Like his high fastball from Ryan.
He definitely feels like he's seeing the ball well off of Joe. I think that's why we're seeing some of the antics and seeing some of the foul balls and everything that we're getting. But back to your point, Adam, the good and the bad from Jazz, you see it all in a matter of, what, 10, 15 seconds there with that first at-bat. But definitely an electric guy who can change the game with one swing.
In the air to right field. Keyshaw going back. Keyshaw near the warning track and has a play.
Yeah, Jazz majorly limping down the line following that swing.
Ryan went down to a knee. Keyshaw making the play. We'll keep tabs of Chisholm Jr. Back inside the dugout, but yeah, clearly not walking at his best right now.
And that ball, I'll tell you what, I mean, hit that high with the wind here. The wind's actually blowing a little bit in from right field today, as opposed to the last couple days where it was blowing out. I think on another day that would have been a home run, and Jazz just unlucky to catch the wind the way it is right now.
So bases empty, 2 down for Max Schumann. Yankees head to St. Petersburg, Florida, as they will take on the Rays, starting a 4-game series tomorrow night. Schumann to right, deep. Keyshaw again back with the play right near the wall. And the inning is over. 3 up, 3 down for Ryan. Smiling off the mound. The Twins back at it, leading by 4. For nothing, Minnesota on to the 6th inning lead. Kreidler and Keyshaw and Brooks Lee. Put Minnesota on top by 2 with an RBI single back in the 4th. This turned out to be neat pitch at bat against Ryan Weathers.
Yeah, this was a fantastic job by Lee here. Weathers started him with all sorts of off speed early on in the at-bat. He finally earned himself a fastball. Fouled that one off in the good location, gets one in a little better location to take a good swing at, and does just that, drives it into left field. Really good contact hitting right there by Brooks Lee.
Lee is 2 for 2. Pitching change. Camilo Doval is back on the mound. Second straight day. Allowed 4 unearned runs yesterday. 3 hits. No walks. He struck out 2.
Well, Camilo's been the mystery of the Yankee bullpen so far. Nobody doubts the stuff. You're about to see it right here. Upper 90s into 100s with regularity and all sorts of movement, but he's been awfully hittable this year. So now he's pitching down 4 runs in this ball game, and they're really trying to get him back on track.
Pulled to right field, and Brooks Lee will pick up his 3rd hit. Played off the wall by Schumann. Lee into second base. Close play, and he is safe. Now, Max Schumann played that perfectly. Close play at second, and Lee leads off the 6th inning with a double. And no challenge here from Aaron Boone.
Well, we've seen a number of pretty useful caroms off that right field wall today, mostly to Keyshaw. This one, Schumann gets a legitimate shot at getting Brooks Lee here at second base and does everything he can do. Perfect throw to Volpe, but Brooks Lee, credit to him, busting it out of the box, earns himself a double here.
Right hand in there in time for Lee, and now Kreidler, who is 1 for 2. Kreidler, 345 with runners in scoring position. To short. High hop. Volpe dropped it. And Kreidler is safe. That's an error. Charge to Volpe. Entering this game today for the Yankees, over their last 14 games, 27 unearned runs allowed.
Especially when Camilo's in the ball game, you're going to have to play ironclad infield defense. He's getting ground balls left and right. This ball takes a little bit of a high hop on Anthony, and I think that's what messed him up. Looks like it rattled around in the glove, and then he lost it on the transfer.
That's absolutely what it was. That second hop, that typically has a little more topspin to it, and that one seemed to shoot up almost like it had backspin on it, and he was not expecting that, and that's definitely what threw him off trying to field that ball.
But it's going to land on the grass into no man's land. Everybody's safe. So Keyshaw popping up the bunt. No play for Camilo Doval nor Volpe. And the Twins can really break it open here. 3 on, nobody out as the lineup turns over.
Well, if you could bunt the ball in this location every time, you'd bat 1,000. Obviously, this is not exactly what Luke's trying to do here. But it does catch the Yankees sleeping a little bit. I feel like a little slow to react to this ball off the bat. And ultimately, it's just in no man's land. So very useful little piece of contact from Luke Keyshaw here.
Austin Martin's been out twice and scored 2 of the 4 runs as Doval misses inside. Yankees also some defensive changes. Jazz Chisholm Jr. no longer in the game. Jose Caballero now playing second. Ahmed Rosario takes over at third. The 1-0. Let's go back to the Jazz Chisholm Jr. at bat. Trying to stretch out a little bit before flied out to right.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a quad or a groin favoring there.
But inside, ball 2. Infield in. 3-1. And this is what hurt Camilo Doval going back to Wednesday's game here against the Tigers. Yankees lost that one in extras. It was a lack of command.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a huge strikeout pitcher. So when he gets in these situations, it's hard for him to punch the side out and just get out of it. He's relying on contact. So you see throwing a lot of borderline pitches, not getting any offerings.
Ball 4, run is in. It's 5-0. And here come the Yankee fans.
Yeah, a lot of frustration from the Yankee fans here, and rightfully so. A little bit of a sloppy inning here. Got an error involved. Got some bad counts on the mound. And just not playing very inspired baseball at the moment.
MLB and T-Mobile offer you a chance to win trips to all 30 stadiums. The views, the food, the vibe. Begin your journey to 30. Enter now.
Yankees bullpen. Back at it. And Jake Bird start to warm up here quickly. So you stated the obvious issue right now. Not playing inspired baseball. So what's the answer? Is it simply get your team back, get healthy? That's going to take some time.
Yeah, I mean, it's never one thing. I mean, they played pretty good ball without Judge at the beginning. But this team's going to have to find a way to manufacture runs at times and not wait around for the big swing all the time, just given their current personnel. And really, they got to play better defense in the infield. We talked about all the unearned runs of late. You just don't have as much margin for error when you're not driving the ball out of the ballpark consistently on the offensive side. So clean up the defense. That'll take care of a lot of it. But obviously, that's easier said than done.
Kyler Fedko is third at bat, 0 for 2, coming in for the injured Byron Buxton earlier today. Fedko 0 for 12 to begin his major league career.
This would be a good spot for your first career hit. Batting averages go up over 100 points with the infield in. And you see the stuff of Doval. He's not lacking in that department. Plenty of velocity, plenty of movement, but not the locations he needs.
That would have been ball 3.
Adam, I got a question for you as a pitcher. Look, as a catcher, I knew when my team wasn't fielding well, and I would have to try to call a game sometimes around that. If I knew it just might not be a good idea to get every ground ball. Did you ever think of it when you were on the mound and you were pitching?
Yeah, at times for sure. I think it's tough though. It's tough, especially when you don't have the strikeout stuff in the moment. I mean, there's been years where I could reach back and try to strike everybody out. You know what? Strike out or walk. But then there's years where that's really not the case, and I think that's where Doval's in right now, albeit he gets one right here.
Fedko strikes out, 1 away. And here comes Cody Clemens, who's 0 for 3 today.
I mean, back-to-back nasty sinkers out of Doval. I mean, the stuff is there. He's got it in him. But if you're going to fall behind 1-0 and 2-0 and you're going to get a little predictable, doesn't matter what you got in this league.
Clemens with a rocket to right field. Out of the warning track is Schumann. Makes a nice catch as Kryler tags and scores on his way to third base. Advances Keishol.
That's a really good swing from Clemens right there. Wasting no time, understanding it's going to get something hard. Get something down in the zone, drives it to right. If he gets that ball elevated at all, he's got himself a grand slam. Ends up being a nice play by Schumann, though, holding it to the 1 run.
So Clemens picks up his 43rd RBI. The Twins have added 2. And now leads 6-0 Josh Bell. Way outside. Saved by Wells. Ball 1. Bell is singled today, knocked in a run, strikeout and a walk.
Saw Del Valle there go to a slide step, thinking about the runner on first. Immediately leaves his hand behind.
Austin Martin at first base stays as Bell takes it high.
Yeah, and unless that is a 100% guaranteed stolen base, no need to send him here because you've got Josh Bell at the plate. This guy's been great with runners in scoring position, and with him at first base, it leaves a little hole over there on the right side.
Keyshaw at third base. Austin Martin at first. Minnesota losing the opener here on Friday. Yankees won 5-2. Minnesota winning yesterday 11-4. Last time the Twins won a series here at Yankee Stadium. You have to go back to 2014. Chopped to short, and Volpe to the bag, inning over. But the Twins add 2 more runs. It is now 6-0 Minnesota. Unearned runs. And now a 6-0 Minnesota lead as the Yankees bat bottom 6. Break here for Joe Ryan. It's Wells, Caballero, and Grisham coming up. MLB app has you covered all season long. Get personalized highlights and push notifications just for you. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. PitchCom issue here. Ryan and Caratini. Now, Adam, let me ask you this about the long inning here for Ryan. That's now back-to-back innings. There's been traffic for Minnesota. Got a big deal for a pitcher as Ryan is going to swap out his transmitter.
Well, I know for me, whenever I had a long time between innings, I would go throw in the cage. You know, I would stay active. I didn't want to just sit there and marinate the whole time. Joe's been so locked in today, you would think you want to maintain that feel. So perhaps he did some of that, but yeah, it's definitely something you wonder about a little bit. You sit there a long time. Do you lose that feel?
Now he has to wait even longer. That's his receiver. And Ryan, you see, he has the transmitter on his right hip. He has the option to call some of his pitches, not always. Sometimes Caratini will do that, but he has the transmitter on his belt buckle. Anthony, what about you? If you're starter, if you're behind the plate, knowing that your starter, it's great that he's getting some run support today, but there's been some lengthy breaks in between innings.
Yeah, you'll always take the run support, but to me as a catcher, I was always cognizant of that because you just don't want them to lose the rhythm and the feel that they had earlier in the game. I think the later you get into the game and that happening, the more it can have an effect on a pitcher because they've already been out there, they've already established their feel, they feel like they know what they want to do today, and then all of a sudden things change around the 5th, 6th inning. That can be difficult to overcome.
Challenge here upcoming from Victor Caratini. He challenges often.
Minnesota's challenging the ball call.
And he's graded out well in doing so and adds to those numbers.
Minnesota has 1 remaining.
You know, Anthony, let's dive in a bit here on Austin Wells. Had a good swing back in the 3rd. Pulled a single out to right field, and his name came up with Aaron Boone during our pregame conversation today, and Boone even got into some mechanics with his stance and swing.
Yeah, talking a little bit about finding some rhythm, finding some timing. Just seemed like, you know, Austin was struggling to find his rhythm early in the year, almost going from a standstill straight to a swing. I think of a Byron Buxton or even a Cody Bellinger, guys that actually do that successfully, but that is really hard to do if you're not an uber athletic type of person, because most people just cannot start from 0 and go to 100 like nothing. Most people have to have a little bit of a load and something moving, some kind of rhythm moving into their swing to help them feel and to help them really be consistent in getting into their slot.
Yeah, strikes out looking. Locked up on a fastball at 95. 7th strikeout for Ryan. And Boone said, quote, that we know that there's offensive talent in there, coming off a 21 home run season last year.
Yeah, there's no doubt there is. I mean, typically he controls the strike zone extremely well, and he's got, pretty good pop, especially to the pull side. So when he's able to tap into that, you have an interesting offensive player. I just think right now he's not seeing the ball very well. I mean, you see that right there. That's a fastball middle down. No intention out of hand of swinging at it. So he probably read that ball to be pretty low out of the hand. And if you're doing that, that means you're having a bit of a perception problem up there. So I think that's probably issue number 1.
1 ball, 1 strike on Jose Caballero.
Just to bring those two things together, sometimes if you're a little bit stiff in your start and you're getting to your front foot, there's some movement with your eyes then, because you're getting to that front foot a little bit harder because you have to go a little bit quicker. And I think it's honestly like a combination of those things where, the start and the rhythm isn't there, and then because of that, you don't see the ball well because you're having to get to that front foot too quickly, and all of a sudden your head and your eyes are moving as you're trying to pick up the baseball.
2-1. Called foul, no play for Austin Martin. 2-2.
I think I'm going to look for a sweeper or curveball here to Caballero. Got him with one earlier. Just pulled a fastball foul. I think that's the go-to right here.
Fastball did not come back. And the curveball has been a weapon to righties this season, entering Ryan's start today, allowing only 2 hits all season long to righties with his curveball. Goes to it, and Caballero. Lofts went out to left center, and Austin Martin for out number 2. Six 0 Minnesota. Bases empty, 2 down. Trent Grisham 0 for 2. Back with Adam Ottavino, Anthony Recker, Corey Provis today from Yankee Stadium. Grisham 0 for 2. As the sweeper catches the inside corner for strike 1.
It looks like it did not affect his rhythm. He's in such good shape right now, pitch count wise, throwing first pitch strikes, really just nailing those fundamentals in this start.
Now, Joe Ryan, a 2-time All-Star, he was added to the team last year, and for that to happen, Aaron Boone managed the American League team last year. Rocco Baldelli then managing Minnesota, letting Aaron Boone know that, hey, we will move Ryan's start around to let you know that he can pitch in the game, and if so, let's get him on the team. And Joe Ryan replaced Hunter Brown on the roster last year. This time, though, voted in by his peers as Ryan drops to a knee.
Just a little bit of extra entertainment value when you watch Joe pitch. I mean, he's a character out there. He's doing something different on every pitch, and you can tell he's really it's Joe versus Joe. He's not worried so much about the batter as much as just making the pitches that he sees in his mind.
1-2 the count. Foul back. Wishing good pass. Got that fastball from Ryan at 95. Yeah, Joe in his start here last year, a night game. There's a shot of Joe playing My Sharona inside the stadium, but sure enough, he was bopping his head around right, in tune. Swing and a miss on a splitter, and Joe Ryan dominant today through 6. He has struck out 8. 2-time All-Star has stepped up for Minnesota as the ace this season. Highest scoring offense in the American League, the Minnesota Twins, with 6 more today, leading 6-0. As Royce Lewis will lead off the 7th inning. Josh Bell and the Twins lead by 6. Jake Bird is on to pitch now for the Yankees, acquired from Colorado in late July last season.
Yeah, Jake Bird, this is a guy that when the Yankees got him from Colorado, they had very high hopes for him. He's pretty nasty. You know, he's got really good breaking ball, throws plenty hard, good sinker, tons of movement. But he has found his stay in New York to be less than optimal so far. Last year came up, got immediately sent back, and never returned. This year he's been kind of up and down, but he does have good stuff. So if he can get ahead in the counts, usually that's a sign of good things to come.
Now this current run marking his 3rd stint with the Yankees this season. Lewis, major league pop-up. And it's Wells. Route number 1. And Caratini will bat with the bases empty. The ultimate goal of an MLB fan. How about seeing it all? The MLB journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Yes, all 30. MLB.com/journey to 30. That sounds awesome. 0-1 count to Victor Caratini, 0 for 3 today.
Anthony, did you play in every ballpark?
I did not. No, I missed Detroit, I missed Toronto, and I missed Kansas City as a player. Those are the only 3 ballparks I never played in.
Probably a few that are retired as well now, old Atlanta, stuff like that.
Actually, I did play in old Atlanta. I was there to shut that one down, shockingly enough, and that was I'll tell you what, I'll never forget it. They pulled out Maddox, Glavine, and Smoltz, of course, to throw out the last pitch at Turner Field, and they had Javi Lopez there. Eddie Perez was our bench or one of our coaches, so he was out there, and then they pulled me out there to catch one of those, and I did not feel like I was comfortable being out on the field for that at all.
Who did you catch of the 3? Do you remember?
I did. I caught Glavine. Yep, of course. I can't forget that. I mean, how often do you get to catch anything from a guy like that?
Sure, you set up a little bit off the outside corner for a Glavine pitch?
Knew he was going to hit the spot and knew I'd get the call. Absolutely.
What about you? Have you checked off every ballpark in your career?
Yeah, we actually went over it the other night. I think I've got 35 or 36 if you count some of the ones that they don't use right now.
In the alley, left center field and deep, and that ball is going to be in play. And Caratini with a 7th inning 1-out double as the Twins look to add on to the 6-0 lead.
A lot of room out there in that left center field gap here at Yankee Stadium. Caratini stays on a breaking ball, drives it the other way. Nobody anywhere close to that one, so he's able to cruise into second with a stand-up double.
That's the power that Caratini has been providing for Minnesota in absence of Ryan Jeffers. Hopping the wall, and Caratini into second base, and now Lee. Out to left, and Bellinger. And first time Brooks Lee has been retired today. It was 3 for 3 before that swing.
What's the timeline on Jeffers right now?
Ryan Jeffers is rehabbing as we speak with the St. Paul Saints. He's played the last couple of days. He had a home run last night and a couple of singles on Friday. Playing with the AAA St. Paul Saints. And Jeffers, a free agent at season's end. His name comes up a lot around this stadium.
Well, he can really hit, so, considering the Yankees catching situation right now, that would make some level of sense. But hey, the Twins are right there, numerically they are in this thing.
Twins entering play today, 4 games back of the White Sox and Guardians in the division race, 2.5 back of the Astros for the 3rd and final wild card spot. Down low on Kreidler.
And assuming the Twins win this game, which it looks like they're on their way to doing, they've been winning series after series. They are running these series off clip after clip, and you keep doing that, you're going to find yourself even closer in that playoff race.
They've won 7 of their last 8 series and have been playing really well lately on the road, especially.
Anything's possible in this American League this season. I mean, there really hasn't been any separation.
3 balls and a strike on Ryan Kreidler. Ahmed Rosario now playing third base and throws out the Twins shortstop. And the inning is over. Twins get a double from Caratini, do not score. Time to stretch. Here on this July 4th weekend, Minnesota leading the Yankees 6-0. And we keep it here for God Bless America.
Remove your caps and please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest. United States Army Specialist Donald DeRosa from Danbury, Connecticut, who served in Vietnam. The Yankees say thank you, Donald, for your sacrifice and for your service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please join us in singing along with Robert Merrill's rendition of God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean white before. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium, where it has been all Twins today. Joe Ryan on the mound has been fantastic. Byron Buxton did get the start, but had to leave the game in the first after a steal attempt, re-aggravating that hip injury that kept him out for a few days earlier in the week. And Brooks Lee has been swinging the bat really well. 3 knocks today, RBI and a run. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Anthony, thank you. Ryan has retired 11 straight. Yankees, Ben Rice leads off. Yankees are going to make a run. Has to happen now. Rice, Dominguez, and Bellinger due up here against Ryan in the 7th. Rice has bounced out and struck out today. We were talking earlier about the Yankees and not getting much in terms of offense from their catching tandem. Ben Rice hasn't caught a game yet this season. Do you see that changing at all for the Yankees moving forward?
I don't. I mean, the conversation may change in future seasons, but I think for this year, Ben Rice, you know, he's just their best hitter without Judge in the lineup. So they want him healthy. They want him playing every day, whether that be first base or DH. And, you know, catching's just another variable to introduce into the mix that could leave you a little more banged up and affect you offensively. So I'd be surprised. I think they'll address the catching position, you know, from another route.
It absolutely can bang you up. So can hitting a ball off your knee. But I will say that not being back there for what, 3 months, over 3 months now, really, in game action, no matter how many bullpens you're catching, getting back into game action, the thought processes and everything that has to go through your head as a catcher in Major League Baseball, there is so much information and so many things that you're a part of that you've got to be aware of. To do that anytime at this point moving forward, to me, just would not make any sense at all. And so to your point, Adam, I just don't see that happening this year, you know, with where the Yankees are at right now.
Yeah, and he's also just not a game changer defensively. Like, he's solid enough back there, he can get the job done, but it's not a huge upgrade to your defense and your run prevention package with him behind the plate.
No, it's not. I think the only idea behind it would be potentially Paul Goldschmidt's having a really nice season. You know, you put him at first base and Ben Rice behind the plate, you get more offensive production. But again, you might lose something defensively, especially because your pitchers aren't used to throwing to.
And Rice grounds out to Clemens for the second time today. And now 12 in a row retired by Joe Ryan. And bases empty for Dominguez. Frustration evident, mounting, and inside that first base dugout. Dominguez 0 for 2. And strike one from Ryan.
Well, you can certainly understand the frustration. This is a team that played really good baseball through the first 2 months of the season, and change. All of a sudden, right now, it's feeling like nothing's going right, so you can certainly understand it. It's a long season and an emotional game.
Ruled a swing. This is the 18th 0-2 count for Joe Ryan today, as he misses down low on Dominguez.
Yeah, Joe's looking to put the finishing touches here on a masterclass start today. Been working ahead in the counts all day long. 16 first pitch strikes. Not letting the Yankees get settled at all in the batter's box.
17 of 21. Strike one. Outstanding ratio. Now the 2-2 to Dominguez. Left and playable for Martin. And there are two down. Base is empty, and here comes Bellinger. 0 for 2 today, and now 4 for his last 43. Here's James Rowson, Yankees hitting coach, and he was a finalist for the job that Derek Shelton currently has. As ties to Minnesota, was the hitting coach for a couple of years. You mentioned the Bomba squad. That was James Rowson's group back in 2019.
Not to date myself, but Jay Rowe was my hitting coach in Chicago back in 2012.
I asked Byron Buxton about, and those two are very close, Buxton and Rowson. I asked Byron, I said, where would you be without James Rowson? He said, I would not have a major league career. To the right side, it's going to be a sliding attempt by Clemens. Can't make the play. So Bellinger is on, and the Yankees have their first base runner since the third inning.
I think this one's going to be ruled a hit. Was ruled a hit. Tough play going to the right for Brooks Lee here. No.
I think that's Kreidler, right? Kreidler has a better chance to make that play. Momentum to his left.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication there between Clemens and Kreidler.
Real quick, guys, I think that was a great visit by Vic going out. Victor Caratini comes out and talks to Joe Ryan right there. In his last start in Houston, he got a little bit frustrated. A couple of walks, maybe a defensive play that could have been made, and you could see the frustration, and ended up kind of unraveling into a really big inning. And I think Vic just going out there right now and telling him, we're good, don't worry about it, 6-run lead, you're pitching great, keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to be just fine. And you could see a couple of nods from Joe back.
Ends a run of 13 in a row, retired by Ryan. Volpe 0 for 2, he's hit Ryan well. Head-to-head, entering the ball game today as Ryan misses low for ball one. Two and 0. Twins bullpen is quiet as Ryan is closing in on 100 pitches thrown today. Two and one. 20 pitched second, but a very efficient afternoon, Adam, for Ryan today.
Yeah, only the 3 base runners. You know, if you get some guys on base, you can do some things against Joe Ryan. Doesn't hold runners particularly well. Seems to be a little bit less effective out of the stretch. But ultimately, he's been dominant today. He hasn't given them hardly any room to breathe, and he's set himself up here for another 2-strike situation.
Now, rookie righty Andrew Morris. Twins don't have a ton of velocity in their bullpen, but Morris does bring that. So 2-2 on Anthony Volpe with Bellinger at first base. Strike 3 called, and Volpe will challenge.
New York is challenging the strike ball.
This one's awfully close.
And Volpe was right. Good challenge. Good challenge there from Volpe. Mentioned the Twins challenge often. The Yankees as a team, the 5th most ABS challenges in the game. So Bellinger moving, and the 3-2, ball 4. And the Yankees have some life here in the 7th inning. And the batter will be Rosario.
Well, that was the first walk of the game from Joe Ryan. Started off that at-bat, pitching out of the stretch for the first time in quite a while. Immediately fell behind 2-0 to Volpe. Yeah, you can sense the frustration even in that bat flip on the walk from Volpe there a little bit. The Yankees really dying to get something going here. Kind of grasping at straws. They're going to need a big 2-out rally here if they're going to get anything off Joe. And Rosario will see if he can come through here.
So Pete Mackey, pitching coach, out for a mound visit. And Ryan, after walking Volpe, said, I'm good, I'm good. But Pete Mackey out for a conversation anyway. Most pitches Ryan has in a start this season is 107.
Well, this would have been Jazz Chisholm before he exited the game. Instead, it's going to be Ahmed Rosario. Jazz Chisholm did have 2 of the better swings of the day off of Joe Ryan, so a little bit unfortunate for the Yankees not to have him up in this spot right here.
The veteran Rosario, acquired from Washington late July last season, played well with the Yankees in 16 games, hit over 300. And re-signed a 1-year deal in December. 2 on, 2 out. And strike 1 on Rosario. Came in a pinch hit yesterday and struck out as the Yankees were looking to rally in the 6th inning. Now the 0-1.
A couple angry fastballs here from Joe to start off this at-bat. 95 on both of them. His velocity's been really, really good throughout this whole game, but trying to empty the tank here to get this final out.
Ryan to Rosario, and the 0-2 pitch is high. 95 on the fastball. The Twins righty.
I don't know how you don't swing at this one. This is perfectly placed right above the zone.
Rosario's been good with runners in scoring position at 282, but chases the breaking ball and strikes out. 9 strikeouts for Ryan today and 7 shutout. The Yankees some 2-out traffic, but Ryan strikes out Rosario. Twins maintain a 6-0 lead.
You know, to highlight how important this is. Starting center field for the American League. And making his 2nd All-Star game appearance, Mr. Joe Ryan.
Twins have 2 All-Stars, Buxton and Ryan. They were the 2 Twins All-Stars in Atlanta last year, and both will be in Philadelphia. The All-Star game coming up here shortly. Ryan's been phenomenal today. And the Twins are batting in the 8th inning, leading 6-0. Keyshaw, Martin, and Fedko. Speaking of the All-Star game, Derek Shelton, he will be there. He was selected by Toronto manager John Schneider to be a part of his coaching staff. Keyshaw pulls it to left and shallow. Bellinger will get over and make the play, and Keyshaw is retired, 1 down. So now Austin Martin. He's had a good day. It's been a struggle for the Twins outfielder now for a while after a great start to his season. Reaching base 3 times, scoring twice, and picking up an RBI in the 6th inning.
Yeah, in particular, his walk in the 5th inning that knocked Weathers out of the game there. I felt like that was a very, very, very crucial at bat during that inning. Kind of set the tone for what was to come.
And then Royce Lewis capped off the inning with the 2-out 2-run single, and Martin's day even better now. Picking up his 2nd hit, and now 4 times he has reached.
Yeah, Austin Martin with a really nice day at the plate. He stayed on a couple balls today, really threw them, not spinning off anything. Jake Bird, not an easy guy to face right on right. Stays tight. Line drive up the middle. Very good fundamentals on that swing right there.
Now Kyler Fedko 0 for 3, 0 for 13 now to begin his big league career. As you saw Byron Buxton and the video receiving the All-Star selection from his manager yesterday. Byron starting today at 1 at bat, and that was thrown out trying to steal second base in the 1st inning, and did not come out defensively, re-aggravating an injured right hip that cost him time earlier on this road trip, a trip that began with the Twins winning 2 out of 3 in Houston. And the rubber game of this series today, the Twins lead by 6 late. No balls and 2 strikes.
You got to think he's pressing a little bit. You know, really want to get that first career hit. Can't get it by keeping that bat on your shoulder. Got to go ahead and offer at something. Chased right there, though.
Cody Clemens on deck. Well, sets up away, and the pitch is away. And Fedko strikes out for the 3rd time. And the first strikeout for Bird, and 1 down. Now summer's #1 show is back for the ultimate competition. Don't miss an all-new America's Got Talent, Tuesday on NBC and Peacock. Pitching change here in the Bronx as Bird departs. Cody Clemens due up when we come back. Twins batting in the 8th, leading 6-0. Cody Clemens coming up for Minnesota here in the 8th inning. Twins on top 6-0, and the Twins offense. This is what this group has been doing, Adam, since June 1st.
Yeah, it's been really impressive to watch. They've been aggressive, especially early in games. A lot of power coming out of these bats. Don't sleep on the Twins here in the 2nd half. This offense is starting to carry the team.
Angel Chavilli back with the Yankees here today. Recall from AAA before the ball game, marking his 2nd stint with the team. This time in the first half, 43 games with a right shoulder injury.
Just another pitcher with some pretty incredible velocity. Yankees bringing in out of the pen here. Got him from Colorado last season along with Jake Bird. Hoping to have him turn into a positive contributor, but we just haven't seen a lot of him yet.
In exchange for TJ Rumfield, saw him recently with the Rockies. He's a good player. Guy that was blocked at first base here with the Yankees, and he is making the most of his time with Colorado.
Yeah, he sure is. He's looked very good for the Rock Show out there.
Record, did you have a ball there?
I did, and it bounced. I had it in my hand, and it just slipped out. I'm very upset with myself right now.
E2.
Had a chance for the play, and I blew it.
E2.
Please erase that video if you can.
Really? The 1-2 to Cody Clemens. And let's take a look. Anthony Recker, bouncing ball. Oh.
That's the you know what it was my right hand. I'm gonna say right now it was my right hand, and obviously I'm a catcher, catch with my left hand. I'm just gonna blame it on that. It was just not used to catching things with that hand.
Might get a pop up here.
It's a little deep. I don't got that kind of range anymore. At some point in my day.
Two and 2 on Cody Clemens. 0 for 3 with an RBI today. And time. Minnesota's bullpen. Andrew Morris on the right, Eric Orsi on the left, and LaTroy Hawkins, bullpen coach, right in between the two relievers.
Why would you be double barreling up 6 here?
As Clemens flies out and the inning is over. I think if Clemens did damage, Orsi was coming in. Let's see, might be Morrison. Let's provide an update on Yankees second baseman Jazz Chisholm Jr., who did not return after his at-bat in the 5th inning. And the Yankees announcing that Chisholm left the game with discomfort in his right big toe, x-rays negative. So discomfort in his right big toe is why Chisholm Jr. left the game. And Rosario took over third base. Caballero playing second. Joe Ryan's day is over, and now rookie righty Andrew Morris comes in for Minnesota.
Andrew Morris having a mighty fine rookie season so far. And you know what I really like about the combination of Morris after Ryan is the different arm slots. Ryan with the low arm slot, Morris way up high at 60 degrees, one of the highest in the league. I always felt like that was a really nice thing to come into. Come in behind a pitcher with a totally different slot and arsenal than you when you come in the ball game.
Former starter in the minor leagues, and now velocity up out of the bullpen. 24 years old, 4th round pick out of Texas Tech in 2022. Did not break camp with the team, but there was some discussion about Morris early on in spring training about him doing just that. If the Twins were going to go with a dedicated long man in the bullpen, then Morris had a chance to be that guy. 1-2 to Schumann, and he misses outside.
Well, he's done a nice job overall. You know, that really high release that he has kind of makes his fastball into a little bit of a cut ride type of shape, which is very useful, and a little bit abnormal, which anything you can do abnormal out there is a positive on the mound. So he's able to come in and just kind of be himself for a little while and find out what the league can do to him before having to make any type of adjustments.
2-2 on Schumann. And strike 3, Paints at 99 right on the outside corner. That is 10 strikeouts now for the Twins today. Joe Ryan had 9, and 1 up, 1 down for Morris here in the Yankees' 8th.
Man, this is just a perfect pitch right on the corner. Carantini doesn't have to do much back there except stick it. And man, 99 miles an hour on the black, that'll play.
Twins bullpen. Really the talk of the trade deadline last year, the Twins unloading 40% of their roster and many big named high octane relievers. And really did not add much to the bullpen even entering 2026. I'm hoping the guys would step up, and Andrew Morris certainly has done that. But it's a bullpen that needs to perform better if the Twins are going to stay in this race, either the AL Central or the wild card race. The Twins bullpen ERA second highest in the game, over 5.
What's been really impressive about Morris is the fact that he's been thrown in every situation possible and still succeeded.
2 down as Wells grounds out.
I mean, he's come in late in games. He's come in almost middle relief roles. He's come in, you know, as a 7th inning stretch guy to get it to the closer. Has had to go multiple innings at times. 1 inning is at times, trying to get the ground ball double play, trying to get the strikeouts. He's had so many different hats to wear, and for a young guy to come in and wear all of them as well as he has, it's truly impressive.
98 by the bat of Caballero.
Well, you know, it's super important as a rookie that you come in and you have the proper mindset. You're not just going to be handed a great role all the time. That's just not the reality of Major League Baseball. So you have to make whatever you get into your own 9th inning, you know? You got to come in and take it seriously, whether you're down runs, up runs, multi-inning, it doesn't matter. It's really about how you think about it.
He's been asked to save a game or 2. In fact, the Twins this season, 11 different guys have at least 1 save. That is a team record, and they did that 50 games into the season.
Well, I can't say that's necessarily a good thing all the time, but you know, certainly for the guys involved, I mean, you are getting some experience that's invaluable.
Maybe Caballero wanted to challenge that, but perhaps waited too long, so it's a 1-2 count. It was 100. First time that Morris hit 100 miles an hour this year was against Bobby Witt Jr. Struck him out, and he remembers that moment well.
Well, I think we all do. I mean, whenever you get close to triple digits, that's kind of the holy grail of velocity for pitchers. And it seems like he has a little bit of a taste for the moment. You know, Bobby Witt, he knows who he's up against, and here at Yankee Stadium, and he's out here cranking.
Minnesota does not have much in terms of elite velocity in the bullpen, losing a key guy in Anthony Banda. He'll be out months with an injured lat. He was throwing well from the left side with power.
Yeah, they're going to need some better bullpen performances down the stretch if they want to be a real factor. You don't always have to have a dominant bullpen, but if you want to be a good team and you're hunting and you're not a complete team, that, you know, having that edge in the bullpen can turn a lot of games.
Just missed there at 100. And now 2-2. Because high octane, that's what Minnesota had, you know, a year ago at this time, with guys like Joan Duran and Louis Varland, Griffin Jacks, then as a setup man now starting with the Rays, a healthy Brock Stewart. Just a year ago at this time, the Twins had that. They had a power bullpen.
Yeah, and then they flipped them all. It's pretty amazing to see it in the moment, and then not a whole lot done in the offseason.
Swing and a miss on a change of pace, and Andrew Morris 3 up 3 down, striking out 2. We go to the 9th on this holiday weekend in New York. Twins lead by 6. Welcome back to our Star-Spangled Sunday here on Peacock. Twins and the Yankees into the 9th inning. And Chavi back out to begin the inning, and Josh Bell pops it up foul. Austin Wells to the screen, but no play. Twins a quiet offseason in terms of adding free agents. Josh Bell, Victor Caratini added to the team, and both slow starts. As the weather warmed up, both had big months of June offensively. That's hit foul on the right side, and it's an 0-2 count. Aaron Boone began managing the Yankees in 2018, but he nearly joined the Minnesota Twins that 2018 season. His 2017 season, he was still broadcasting for ESPN, calling the World Series on ESPN Radio. And he was offered a job by then GM Derek Falvey, president of baseball operations, and then general manager Thad Levine. And the Twins and Boone having this conversation about what the job could look like. It could be some broadcasting, some front office work, or even a chance to be Paul Molitor's bench coach in 2018. So the conversation between Boone and the Twins ongoing. And then Aaron got a phone call from Brian Cashman about the managerial opening and was extended a chance to interview for the job. And Aaron ended up calling Derek Falvey and say, hey, Brian Cashman kind enough to extend an invite to interview for the job. Is that okay? And they're like, by all means, please do. And Aaron Boone never came to Minnesota, and he's been managing the Yankees ever since in 2018.
Yeah, major sliding doors moment right there. I guess it's one of those things you never know. Booney ended up taking a little bit of that Steve Kerr. I guess J.J. Redick came after him, but a little bit of a different path.
Royce Lewis hits it well to left center field, deep in the gap, and that ball bangs off the wall. He'll try for two. Grisham's throw is going to be late. And Royce Lewis with his second hit today, and it's a ninth inning double.
Well, this ball was crushed. 109.4 off the bat. Didn't hit it high enough to get it out, and we mentioned how deep left center field is here at Yankee Stadium, but man, he squared this ball up something special and lined it right off that fence out there.
See, new look there for Royce, changing up his stance, getting more narrow at the plate, dropping his right foot back, a little bit deeper in the batter's box, a la Mike Trout, Nolan Arenado. That's among the changes Royce made with his stance after being sent down late May and early June. Caratini with a double today in 4 at-bats. By the way, the bench coach job that Aaron Boone, and he met with Paul Molitor too. So he came here to manage, but the bench coach job that year ended up being the guy that's now managing the Twins inside the third base dugout, Derek Shelton, as he was the bench coach for Paul Molitor in 2018 and stayed to be the bench coach for Rocco Baldelli in 2019 before then getting a chance to manage the Pirates in 2020. Towards the hole right side, Rice has it, and to the bag for out number 2 as Lewis advances down to third. Now Brooks Lee, 3 for 4 today, was hitless in this series until breaking out with 2 singles, a double, a run, and an RBI.
This is where you have to be greedy as a ball player. Got 3 hits, but have another RBI out there and a potential 4th hit as a possibility. That would only make that flight back home even sweeter.
Twins have an off day on Monday. Welcome Cleveland for a key divisional series to Target Field on Tuesday night. Twins finish at home with the Guardians and the Angels. One-time Yankee Yoendris Gomez is warming up in the bullpen. He's been asked to close games. At least not a safe situation today. Chavilli, the 1-1 to Lee, is down low.
Gomez, member of the Yankees last season, early on in the year when I was there for a couple days, and then he was DFA'd shortly thereafter. About a year after that and some change, he'll be in here in the 9th trying to close out the Yankees.
(3-1) to switch hitting third baseman Brooks Lee. Yankees will have the top of their order coming up in the 9th in Grisham, Rice, and Dominguez. The last time the Twins shut out the Yankees in the Bronx, you have to go back to May 8th, 2001. It's a 2-0 final. A high fly ball into right center. And playable for Schumann. And he's got it. And the inning is over. Minnesota is 3 outs away from their first series win at Yankee Stadium since 2014. Brooks Lee and Royce Lewis and the Minnesota Twins have a 6-0 lead, bottom 9, last chance for the Yankees. And as we mentioned, one-time Yankee Yoendrys Gomez takes over to see the top of the Yankee order.
Yes, sir. Mr. Yoendrys Gomez in here looking for the final 3 outs. 9 of his 10 career saves coming in this year, so he's found some comfort and some opportunity here with the Twins.
He's been better against righties than lefties, and we'll see a lefty in Grisham, a lefty in Rice, and the switch hitting Dominguez due up third. Sweeper's been a good pitch for Gomez, especially to righties since he joined the Twins. His fastball velocity tick up a little bit. Began the year with Tampa Bay. No Judge, no Stanton.
Yeah, pretty lifeless on offense at the moment for the Yankees. No way around that. And those guys aren't coming around the corner anytime soon. So it's going to be up to the guys in the dugout to kind of turn it around one by one and hopefully get rolling collectively. But yeah, right now not feeling great.
Aaron Judge did speak to reporters earlier on this homestand, and he talked about at times, this team lacking focus. What was your takeaway from Judge's comments earlier in the week?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a window into the clubhouse. We're not in there every day, so it's really hard to speculate from the outside. But when the captain comes out and says that, you have to take it seriously for sure.
Keyshaw can't make the play. Bounces off the wall, and Grisham will stop at second base. And the Yankees, for the second time today, have a base runner at second base. A lead-off double for Grisham.
Yeah, there's a nice swing from Trent right here. And really, he's one of the guys that can help the turnaround. He's been out for a while. Unfortunately, he's a big part of this offense. He's their leadoff hitter. And he's got that thump to right field. We see him staying on a breaking ball right here very nicely. Gets it just out of the reach of Luke Keyshaw and right. He's able to motor in with a stand-up double.
So nobody out. Ben Rice 0 for 3 today. .95 for strike one. Judge still a few weeks away from even re-imaging of his fractured rib. Base hit to right. Grisham holding up for a moment, will make third base. So hard contact against Gomez, and the Yankees have 2 on, nobody out.
Yeah, 2 of the better swings of the day that we've seen so far from this Yankee lineup, back-to-back. Grisham, line drive off the wall. Now Ben Rice gets a little spinner up in the zone, hammers that into right field. And really, Ben Rice is somebody that was a good sign for the Yankees, because if they can get him going, they can tread water here for a while. But without Ben Rice swinging the bat, the lineup looks awfully short to me.
So hard contact has graded Gomez here in the 9th inning. 2 on, nobody out. Dominguez 0 for 3. Homered yesterday. And pulled foul.
Good job by Gomez there, getting right back in the strike zone. Whenever you're pitching the 9th inning, you always play to the scoreboard. You got a 6-run lead. As unfortunate as it is to allow 2 base runners, they don't really matter. Just got to continue to pound the strike zone if you're Gomez.
97 up, and it's 0-2. To short, Kreidler steps, throws, and the Twins turn 2 as Grisham scores. No shutout. 6-1, but 2 down. Hit hard, but right at Kreidler.
Yeah, huge double play right there. You'll trade the run for the 2 outs every single time if you're Andres Gomez. Jumped ahead to an 0-2 count, continues to attack the strike zone, is able to induce the double play.
6-1, bases empty, 2 down, Cody Bellinger. 1 for 3 today. Popped up, left side. Brooks Lee over to the warning track and no play. American League East standings, and again a huge 4-game series. Twins will head home to take on Cleveland, but the Yankees will face the Rays first of 4 at Tropicana Field tomorrow night. And Cam Schlittler, the All-Star, on the mound.
Yeah, and they're going to need him to come out and be Cam Schlittler, because the Trop has not been a very friendly place to the Yankees over the last several years, and Tampa Bay is playing really well right now. You can't let this hole get much deeper in the division, so you got to turn the ball over to your ace and let him work.
The Rays at home, to your point, are 31-12 at Tropicana Field so far.
Yeah, them fixing up their stadium, getting back in there, that's such an underrated subplot of this season. That's just a horrible place to try to go win some baseball games.
Gomez ahead of Bellinger, 1-2. To right center and playable. Kyler Fedko makes the play, and the Minnesota Twins, for the first time since 2014, win a series here at Yankee Stadium. New York has lost 9 of 10. The Twins have a winning road trip, winning a series in Houston and here in the Bronx. Joe Ryan was dominant, 7 shutouts, struck out 9. The Twins offense staying red hot, putting up 6 today to win the rubber game and the series. 6-1 the final score. We'll come back, have a bit more from Yankee Stadium. But first, this break right here on Peacock. Final score, Minnesota over the Yankees 6-1. The Twins win the series. The Twins offense 6 runs on 12 hits. Highest scoring offense in the American League. Adding to that today, among those that had a good day, Royce Lewis had a couple of hits. He drove in 2. He is standing by right now with Anthony Recker. Postgame.
We're here with Royce Lewis. Had a great day at the plate, Royce. Obviously, you get out there, 2 knocks, that big double late. What'd you feel like at the plate today?
Yeah, it just felt good. Honestly, excited to execute approaches and honestly get some pitches over the middle of the plate, which is nice.
The whole team was swinging it. Talk about the team effort right now and how you guys are swinging it offensively.
Yeah, man, the team, we're feeding off each other. Cody Clemens decided to be Barry Bonds this weekend, so we were feeding off that guy. And then we get Buck back in the lineup, which is awesome. And then Josh Bell going off. Everyone was doing their thing this weekend. It was fun.
Tell you who else was doing his thing was Joe Ryan out there on the mound. Talk about what it's like to play defense behind a guy when he's rolling like that.
Oh, man, I said it, man. It's going to be, 7 innings, 10 punchy. That's the kind of guy that we expect and that we get because he's put those expectations on himself. He's that good, and he deserves all the All-Star selections. And
you guys have been winning series after series. You come in here, you take one at Yankee Stadium. Not something the Twins have done a lot. Last time you did that was 2014. Talk to me about what that means going in here where you guys are playing so well.
Yeah, for me that means a lot. I mean, this is a historic franchise, winning franchise, and to come in and beat them on their turf is impressive. And like you said, since 2014, so glad to be a part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining me, Royce. I really appreciate it. Corey, back up to you where the Twins get the win in a big one tonight in Yankee Stadium.
All right, Anthony, thank you very much. Royce Lewis grew up a huge Derek Jeter fan, and the Twins will head home with a series win. 6-1 the final score today. Joe Ryan, 7 shutouts, struck out 9. Ryan Weathers worked into the 5th inning, gave up 4 earned runs. Twins scoring 2 more unearned runs against the Yankees in the 6th inning. And that is now 29 unearned runs allowed by the Yankees over their last 15 games. As the Twins improved to 44-47, Yankees now 49-40. We thank you so much for joining us here on Peacock for our Star-Spangled Sunday. 6-1, the final. Minnesota wins the rubber game and takes the series. For Adam Ottavino, Anthony Recker, and our entire Peacock crew, Corey Provis saying so long from the Bronx. Twins beat the Yankees 6-1. Enjoy the rest of your day, and so long from Yankee Stadium.